topics or anything that you want to conversate about today? Okay, so hold on. So we're live. The B Money Podcast, number 32, with MJ. MJ's back. One of our most beloved guests. Yeah. Welcome back, MJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, so MJ's going to be on Mondays. Mondays with MJ.
Mondays at 8.
Yep. Got myself a date. Monday night at 8. It will sure be great. Great. Got myself a date. That's from The Nutty Professor.
Oh, I just thought you got rhymes.
No, that's from the movie The Nutty Professor. He's saying, got myself a date. Friday night at 8. It will sure be great. Yeah, he is Eddie Murphy. I didn't make it up. Yep.
Oh, I was giving you credit. I didn't know.
Not credit. We need to give the credit where it's due. So what a day. So what's going on with me? So I started shaving my head pretty frequently now.
Okay.
That's going to be a topic of today.
Okay.
I always was keeping my hair short for quite a while. And then Professor Bam told me, you know what, you should try, because I shave it once in a while. She's like, you should try keeping it shaved. Yeah. I kind of like it like that. Because she a lot women, they like The Rock and things. So
yeah,
maybe she's thinking about The Rock secretly. In her head, she's like, oh, Dwayne, when she touches my head when it's shaved. But it's all good for me, because all my heroes have shaved heads, mostly. Michael Jordan, at the top of that
maybe
list.
she just likes a clean-shaven dude.
Could be, I don't know. Yeah. So that's something in my life that's new since last time we talked. And I've been using, I got an Aquatech, what the hell is it called? I can't remember the name. Norelco Aquatech shaver. And it feels so good. It's almost so I'm doing it every day. So usually I would only give myself a haircut or shave my head once a week. So I'll do it on Sunday, but then by the time the next Sunday comes, it's a quarter inch of hair or something, or however fast hair grows. You wouldn't know anything about hair.
On average, your hair grows a quarter to a half inch a month.
Okay, so not even a quarter. So maybe a little bit of hair would be out.
On a bald head, you can feel it.
Yeah, you could feel it and see it, and it's kind of rough. So now I'm doing it every day, and it feels so good to shave my, and I can't wait to do it. I can't wait tonight before bed, for my shower. I am going to be shaving my head, and it feels just good, and it's like a massage on my head, and it kind of was calming. So that's something new for me in my life. Yeah.
You don't want to know what my hair looks like right now.
Well, what's it look like?
I'm gonna send you a picture.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
I have a do-rag on, and then I have 2 pigtail buns on top of my head.
Okay, I have my phone and I'm waiting right now.
I did not do my hair today.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to see this picture. I'm waiting. Better come through. Let's see what MJ's hair looks like. Mine looks like a bald head, because I shaved my head last night. And it feels so good. Oh, here it comes. Oh, wow. That's an interesting shot. If only the fans could see this. They're never going to. Wow, that's cool. You kind of remind me of Tupac. Are you trying to be like Tupac? What's the deal?
Man-meat calls them my knobs.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got your hair all pulled up. That's cool. You look great. Looking good.
Can you see Honey peeking over my shoulder in the photo bomb?
Yes. There he is. Yeah, is he sleeping behind you? What's he doing?
He's on the couch on some pillows.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is.
He just peeked his head up for a second.
Yeah, he looks like that. He's sniffing the air or something to see what's happening. Cool, man.
So, I have several topics to talk about this week as I was going about my week.
Yeah.
The some reason they didn't stick, so I'm assuming maybe we weren't supposed to discuss them.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. So what I figured is, my whole plan for this, when did I call you? Like last week, I'm like, hey, do you want to do, I didn't even ask you, I said, you're going to do Mondays with me. And here's the only reason why.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this. Here's what I feel like. Too much time is going by. Like, you're one of my best friends, and I want us to have conversations. And I feel like we do have some good conversations that could be a podcast. So this is kind of like a selfish thing for me that, well, I really would just want to talk to you at least once a week. Okay? And I never do. So I feel like this could be like a way that we could schedule it, and we know we're going to talk at 8 o'clock on Mondays. Because there'll be too much time. Sometimes 2 months will go by before we talk to each other again. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, lately we've been better.
We've been talking more. But now we'll be able to talk every week on Monday.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. That's fine. That's good. And we can, if something comes up in between, if you have one of these premonitions where you're like, where you know something, like a ball of energy has just gone by my house, and it was like a freight train, and then you call me like 15 minutes later, has something happened? And I'm like, actually...
And I'll say, start the pod. We got to talk
right,
about it.
so we can do that anytime. But we'll know for sure we're going to talk Monday, and we'll do it on the pod or whatever, and then if some other thing, we can still talk. We can still call, and I think it's good.
Well, because I'm one of those people that I have, like, random thoughts.
Yeah.
And then I'll have, like, random questions about my random thoughts.
Yeah.
And then I'll come up with, like, random hypothesis to my random thoughts.
Yeah, good.
And, yeah, which leads to good conversation. However, they've all left me this week.
That's okay. And the other thing that I'm saying is this. If we decide, like, so we're doing a podcast right now, we're talking. It doesn't even feel like, it's not really we're having a conversation and it's a podcast. We could just decide that the podcast is going to make us do it. But if we decide we don't want to do the podcast, I still want to talk to you on Mondays at 8 o'clock. It's all I'm getting at. If we just decide we don't want to do this podcast and just cancel, we should have a day where we talk. I really like that.
So this happened this week.
Yeah.
So one of my former clients, she was my client for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
She kind of messaged me on Facebook and about work stuff, right? Referrals and things like that. And I felt the need to call her. So she's a pastor. She's I think, Lutheran or Methodist pastor. I'm not really sure.
Some kind of pastor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she just switched churches, and like the church that she's at is very conservative, if you will. She's also a licensed massage therapist, which is how I got to know her initially. And she's kind of like struggling because she keeps getting these like messages, right, of like bridging the gap. Okay?
What does
so
that
she's
mean?
like, I'm not really sure like what that means, what to do. She's like, I kind of feel like there's like an outsource of bridging the gap, but I'm not really sure like what, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so after talking to her, it kind of all boiled down to like bridging the gap between heaven and earth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in my belief, like, God created the heavens and the earth. Everything has energy. It's scientifically proven that everything has energy.
Mm-hmm.
But she has that, like, spiritual, energetic side to her, but then she also has that, like, religious, conservative side to her. And so she's trying to figure out how to bridge the gap. So I recommended maybe having a podcast since she's a pastor and a licensed massage therapist. Maybe she could help, like, bring some light into that whole thing. So that happened this week.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Bridging the gap between religion and spirituality.
Yeah, because she was kind of like, well, I don't really want to, like, leave the church, you know, and I don't really want to like cause confrontation or friction within the church. And so she wasn't quite sure, but she felt like there was something else that she should be doing, and this whole like bridging the gap came to her, and I feel like I might have helped her kind of understand what messages she was receiving.
You do that a lot.
I think it's a super important purpose.
Yeah. You help people with things like that. That might be one of your purposes.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. That happened this week.
Yeah, that's badass. Cool. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. Man Meat left today.
Oh, yeah. Where'd Man Meat headed back? Out into the wilderness, huh? On a hunt. Headed out to the hunt to hunt and gather and bring back.
He had to take off for a couple days.
Yeah. And now you're just chilling. But luckily, it's not going to be as frigid for the work that he's doing. Because tonight it's supposed to be super cold in northern Michigan where he's at. Yeah.
But the rest of the week's supposed to be decent.
Yeah, I saw it's supposed to be like in the 40s, which is a big change. It was like -7 out at my place over in northwest Michigan. And
where he's going, it was 19 degrees, real feel of 5.
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, and then at about 5 o'clock, it was 17 degrees, real feel of 1.
So still frigid.
Cold there.
Still frigid. Hopefully it gets warmer quick.
It looks better forecast for the rest of the week. But.
Yeah. Cool, man. And how has your week been? So we talked, when did we talk? When's the last time we talked? Was it last week?
I think it was, but it was like the end of the week.
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday, maybe.
Oh, yeah. That's when I was like, you're going to be on for Mondays.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
I had little G, my nephew, spend the night Saturday.
Oh, you did again? This is fantastic. So you're having...
overnight.
Oh, okay. And what did you guys do? Did you do more of the same of what you did the last time, the football?
Oh, yeah, he's all about football. We were playing football, so now, like, all my old lady limbs are sore.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. Made some chocolate malt.
Oh, that's not chocolate malts. That's not on your diet that you were telling me about.
What?
The chocolate malt's not on your diet that you were telling me about.
No, I didn't have any.
Oh, you didn't?
Him and his uncle had some.
Okay. I was going to say, the other thing I was going to tell you about is this month for diet. I want to hear about your diet that you were telling me about that you're doing. And then I'm going to tell you about what I'm doing this month. It's pretty cool. Tell me about your diet. Might have lost. Are you still there, MJ? Check, check, check. Mic check, mic check. We might have lost MJ. MJ. And MJ's calling in. Okay. We're going to call MJ. We'll do the phone this time. Did the call disconnect?
Something happened.
I don't know. No big deal. Okay. Okay, it might be on my end. It looks like I was calling using the tablet because it has surround sound. But we'll just use my phone. It's fine. I was saying...
okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So I was saying... the last thing I heard from you, I was like, hey, that's not on your diet. And then I thought that you hung up the phone on me because you were mad at me. I was like,
No.
she's mad because I'm criticizing her diet. And she hung up. And then
No, I didn't have the chocolate malts, but I did splurge on some mac and cheese with him.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's not on your diet either. So what is your diet?
No.
Tell the listeners about this diet plan that you have set yourself up to do.
Basically all I'm doing is like 1,200 calories a day.
Oh, it's so little.
I'm a pretty active person.
Yeah.
But it keeps track of like how much like protein I should have, fat, sodium, carbs, cholesterol, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing that's perplexing about it.
How long have you been doing
like
that?
I can. Probably like 2 months.
Are you feeling any different?
Maybe a little less. It might only be a month.
Yeah. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in your genes? GENES, and how about your genes? JEANS.
I mean, kind of.
Are you feeling hungry a lot?
Sometimes. So, like, there's times where I'm like, I am, like, super hungry today.
Yeah.
So then I just kind of listen to my body, you know? But I'm a pretty active person, so depending on what I'm doing, sometimes the 1,200 calories, like, doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah. Like, if you're out cutting wood, if man meat is like, hey, I need you to go cut the wood while I'm gone, and you're out there chopping wood.
Yeah, cutting, stacking wood, like, just cleaning the house, doing all kinds of manual labor shit. Yeah. I mean,
so the 1,200 is just a guideline.
The calories I burn.
Do you put it into an app or anything or a chart? So, like, what if you eat like 3,000?
I have an app on my phone.
So you know what you're having.
I have an app on my phone.
Okay.
But the app on my phone doesn't count how many calories I burned.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to intake 1,200.
Yeah.
But the thing that is, like, perplexing and a little frustrating is I'm always over my sodium intake.
Which I told you, the sodium that
I cook everything from scratch.
But the sodium that they're telling you to do is too low.
It has to be.
Yeah, the sodium that you need is twice as much as your app says.
So when I'm over sodium all the time, I'm like, oh well.
How much are you over?
And then usually it's like 400 or 500 milligrams.
Oh, that's fine. You're doing fine.
And then the cholesterol, I think it allows me 180 a day. And if I eat one egg, I'm over my cholesterol for the day.
That's weird.
Yeah, so eggs are like super high in cholesterol.
Yeah, very healthy for you too. And that's good good cholesterol. Weird that they don't want you to eat eggs. I don't agree with this app that you're using. Terrible.
Well, then I have these like low carb wraps.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the dietary fiber is like super high in them.
Yeah.
So if I eat like just one of those wraps, that's my dietary fiber for the entire day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you want to use it as a guideline. If you know that what you're eating is good, you know an egg is not bad for you. You can have fucking 6 eggs a day and be fine. Eggs are 70 calories. How many grams of protein? 9? I'm probably totally off on this.
Sure.
Yeah, so like
but the cholesterol is like through the roof on eggs.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's bad.
I think your main key is probably limiting sugar and flour as much as possible. That's it.
Yeah. Low carb, low calorie.
Yeah, I don't know about low calorie, but definitely sugar and flour. Just don't eat those two things.
Yeah, okay. One egg has 185 milligrams of cholesterol.
Yeah. That'd be hard to chart all that stuff. Wow. So here's how I'm making it easy.
The app keeps tracks of it, so it's like 180 milligrams of cholesterol a day I can have. So I have one egg, that's it.
Can you believe it's March 1st right now? That's crazy yeah, you're going to go way over your cholesterol. Fuck your app. I think it's bad.
And my sodium.
Your sodium and your cholesterol on your app is wrong. It has to be wrong.
Yeah.
I know for sure the sodium's wrong.
Yeah, let me see. So sodium says 100, no, let's see, 1,440 milligrams.
Yeah, probably double that.
I've had double that today.
Yeah, you're fine.
Wow.
So, so it's March 1st. Can you believe that?
I know, it's crazy.
March 1st. And that means that St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
Yep.
So you can get to dress in green and shit. And green
Green's
sequins.
my favorite color.
Yeah. You'll dress in green and you put on green eyeshadow and stuff. That'll be fun. For the month of March,
I won't be going anywhere, but
I've done a commitment for the month of March. So
let's hear it.
So I'm going to be doing fasting, prayer, but I'm going to be fasting Sunday night after dinner through Friday afternoon. I'm not going to quite do 5 days. It's going to be almost, because I'm going to fast through Friday, and then I need on Friday to be able to break the fast, because Friday at dinner I'm going to be going out for dinner. I'm going for steak every Friday.
So you're not going to eat anything from...
No, you don't eat any food.
Sunday night.
No food. I'll be drinking water. I do have tea through the fast. The first couple days of the fast, sometimes if I'm like feeling really shitty, it won't be a total clean fast. Like I'll do coffee with a little cream in it. If I'm feeling like tomorrow, if I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, I feel like shit.
You have to do basically like a liquid diet.
Just coffee with a little cream. I do no, not a liquid diet. No food. Just water.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, yes, a liquid. Just drink water.
Okay, so do you keep like your activity level super low?
My activity level is already, it actually goes up. The more that I don't eat, the better I feel. And then I start to want to move more. So I walk. I find myself going outside and going for nice long walks at night when I'm fasting. So what happens is your HGH, your human growth hormone, spikes. It goes through the roof. A lot of things spike because your body thinks that you need to go kill an animal, right? Like if we were us hundreds, thousands of years ago, there's no food for a while. You have food when you kill something and eat it. So your body it sets you up to like, you don't want to sleep all day. You want to wake up early. Like it resets your circadian rhythm and it gives you a ton of energy and you feel really good when you're fasting. And what your body does, there's only two ways. You're either storing fat or you're using your storage. So that when you're eating throughout the day, like when I'm eating, like yesterday I ate like 3 times. My body is using the food that I'm eating for energy and then it's storing some of it. So when you stop eating, then your body can access the freezer, which is all this fat on my ass. My fat ass and my fat belly. The only way to access it is fasting. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do. I know.
I mean, it makes sense, kinda.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would not have any energy and my blood sugar would tank.
Well, you do go through dips.
I don't know, though.
The dips, that does happen. So it does get hard throughout the week. There's times like, usually for me, it's like day 3, where what happens is the hunger hormone kicks in about 7 o'clock at night, and it's called ghrelin, and that kicks in, and I'm like, holy shit. And then that's around the time where where your insulin is like at its lowest, it hits its lowest peak, lowest point. And then I definitely feel like shit. And there are times where I will make like bone broth. Like you said it right. You were like, so like a liquid diet. So like if I'm feeling
Okay.
like complete shit, bone broth.
Mhm.
And I guess technically that breaks your fast. That's not a true fast, but a man named Angus Barbary was, I'm going to say these numbers wrong. I have nothing in front of me. I'm going to say like 456 pounds. I'm probably way off on that. But he was in that range, okay? And he fasted
Mhm.
with nothing except tea, bone broth, um, and water. And then I think he did seltzer waters too. And he did that for 382 days. I know that number's correct. And he got
What?
down, he went from that like 450 pounds, and I'm totally probably off. It might be 480. He might have weighed 480. I don't know. I'll look it up after. Someone who's listening to this pod, look it up. He's really big, and he got down to like 185 pounds. And so he fasted for 382 days straight, got down to 185 pounds, and then he kept the weight off for the rest of his life. He got up to like, with fasting, it's different than when you do calorie restriction.
Mhm.
Calorie restriction, it's going to be a long, in-depth thing about this. Okay, so go, if you want to learn about what the difference is between the two, all the fans, go Google or put into your YouTube Dr. Jason Fung, fasting versus calorie restriction, and he'll explain it to you.
I just
Dr.
feel like I believe too much in the nutrients that
You have it.
organic natural
You have the
food has
nutrients.
for your body in order to like
It's in your
work
fat
properly
ass.
to not eat it.
It's in your fat ass. The nutrients
What?
are in your fat. So what happens is you're getting the nutrients. You do need, like, I do find, and I'm going to try it this month. It's in the mail to me, but I've ordered some electrolytes with 0 sugar. So I'm going to try to add electrolytes into my water and see if that helps me.
Uh-huh.
People out there, there's people that go by, they like live by it. It's called the snake diet. And what basically all that is they're using electrolytes. The snake diet mix. Snakes eat and then they don't eat for a long time, then they eat again. I don't like the name of the diet, but whatever. So on the snake diet, it's like snake juice, and it mixes in the different electrolytes that you need. So I'm gonna try electrolytes on this. I'm gonna be doing electrolytes. I'm gonna be drinking seltzer waters here and there, tea. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Month of March. And I'm just doing it like only for almost 5 days. So like 4.5 days per week. And then I'm going to break the fast on Fridays in the afternoon, because what happens for me is you have to run to the bathroom. You got to break the fast gently, but once your shit starts rolling again, like when your body starts ramping back up to processed food, you pretty much got to run to the bathroom. You will shit your guts out. So that's why
I feel like I do that anytime I eat something that I don't cook.
yeah,
My body's just like abort mission and it just comes out.
yeah. So that's why you do all your home cooking, huh?
Yeah, that's why I cook everything from scratch. And I do
Maybe you have a
everything,
food
like,
allergy.
natural.
Do you have a food allergy?
Yeah, to like preservatives and hormones and all kinds of weird crap that I put in food now. My body's like foreign, gone, and
Yeah.
out.
I'm hoping that doing the fasting, so there's a lot of research into this, but your body starts producing, what the fuck am I saying? So basically I've injured my arm. You know this. I showed you the pictures of the cross that appeared on my arm.
Yeah.
I hurt my arm really bad. It's better, but also it's not fixed all the way. Like it hurts today, even. And that was December, so that's 2 months ago. So I really hope and pray that my arm will heal, but fasting could help that also, and other injuries. Fasting heals injuries. So I'm hoping the month of doing this. So there's going to be 5 weeks I do it. This week, all the way through the first week of, like the last week of March into the April 1 and 2 that last week. So I'm doing
So, like,
5
what
weeks.
what kind of like weight loss are you averaging per week or per month?
Oh, will I? Every day that you don't eat,
Yeah.
on average, from all the medical studies, you can look. Anyone can look this up. People average about a half a pound of body fat that is burned per day of fasting. Yeah, of
So
body
after
fat.
a
You'll
week-
lose a lot more weight, but I mean, of fat total is like 2.5. For me, I think it's a little more. I'm bigger. I have a lot more muscle. Just my resting metabolism's really high. I'm probably more like 3/4 of a pound per day of actual fat, which is a lot of fat, actually, if you think
So
about it.
my research, which is why it led me to be doing low calorie, high protein kind of thing, was women in their 30s, their metabolism slow down, obviously, but so does they lose a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah.
So if you don't eat enough protein, which we know burns fat, so your metabolism slows down, you start losing muscle mass, you have to eat more protein, less calories, so you can burn more fat and build more muscle. Because I always did low carb, and it always worked for me up until like my mid-30s, and then I was like, why is this not working anymore? So I started kind of researching it.
So you're doing, yeah, but you're doing low carb now, but low carb with also low calorie you're trying. Is that what you're saying?
Right, and high protein. But it's
Yeah.
hard to get the high protein without the fat.
Yeah. So you're trying to avoid fat. You're in a very tough spot. It's very hard to do that. Yeah, because like fats, avoiding fats and carbs with
and I
high
don't
protein.
eat red meat.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
it's like, okay, how much chicken and turkey can one eat? Like, and you have one egg. Oh, you're over your cholesterol limit. It's like, you know what?
Weird.
Screw you, app. I'm gonna have more eggs.
Is it? Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I want to know, does this work? I don't know anything about it. You know?
Well, I don't
It doesn't.
have like.
It's if you lower your
Fat
calories,
much?
you will lose weight. You will lose weight.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
if you can
have.
keep the weight off. That's going to be up to you,
Yeah.
you know. But you will lose weight. You will get to a point where your body goes into starvation mode if you're doing too low. But I think you're a very tiny person.
I need to start working on.
You're
I need
little.
To start working. I know.
A 4
That's why
foot
it's
tall
kinda
woman
hard
doesn't
for me.
need a lot of calories. A 4 foot tall, you know.
I don't know. It's. I'm short.
1,200 calories
Right?
might be the
I've
right
always been-
amount for you.
And
12
I've
to
always been muscular,
yeah.
so I could always I had no problem like burning fat. Like I never had a problem. But then mid-30s, like you start losing muscle,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you start gaining fat, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, you were losing muscle, gaining fat. It doesn't show.
Yeah,
You look
and
great. You look fantastic.
And I was like, this is just not okay, you know? So, I don't know.
I don't
We'll
think
see.
you're I think 1,200 calories for you is a good target. 12 to 1,400. Because you're like under 5 feet tall. Or what are you, 5 feet tall?
I'm 5 foot, yeah.
5 foot. You're very short. I was saying 4 foot. I was just kidding. So yeah, so you're 5 feet tall. Yeah, so like that's probably fine. 12 to 1,400. You'll probably lose weight and feel great.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I gotta get some more protein, build some
I don't
more muscle
know.
so I can burn some more.
It's weird to me because like, so I'm like 700 pounds. So like when I see your pictures.
You are not.
No, I'm not. But I'm a big human. I see your pictures. You don't look to me like you need to lose weight. I know you probably have a different view of yourself of like where you want to be.
Let's put it this way. I've always been like a size 2 to 4 my whole life, and I'm like a 6 now, so I'm uncomfortable.
I see. So if you can get back down to a 4.
I'd be happy, yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to be a 2.
So,
That's
I mean,
too
we're
little.
talking a matter of like 10 to 15 pounds.
Oh, yeah. You'll do that. Probably by the end of this month.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off that fast.
It's
Not like it used to.
I can tell you how it does come off pretty fast. Stop eating.
Fasting.
It's hard. People are always going to say, because unless you do all the research of all the studies, it sounds crazy. Even I thought it sounded crazy, but so we'll see. So let's prove it.
I mean, I could see how it would like reset your system.
Oh, it's so healthy too. Yeah, it's good anti-cancerous.
Stuff like that,
it's good for your sperm production.
but
Am I going to say this right? Spermatogenesis. That's probably not even a word, but it's good for your sperm. And we're going to be trying to Professor Bam and I going to try to have a baby. So
yeah.
It's going to be good for a lot of things.
Right?
Yeah, it does. Good for your stem cells, and that's what I was trying to think of. My stem cells, they spike. They go up by like thousands of % higher while you're in the middle of a fast. So that's when.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you heal during fast. That's why when animals are hurt or whatever, they stop eating. So I'm hoping that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I can get some healing in my arm. Yep.
I hope so too.
Yep. So that was fun talking about diets and things. You were literally like, let me tell you about my time with my nephew. And I'm like, let's talk about diets. No, you said I made chocolate malts. I'm like, that's not on your diet. Yeah.
I let him sleep in bed with us.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what did he like that?
Yeah, we were watching a movie. I don't know how far into this I should get.
Nah, maybe not.
So we were watching a movie in my bedroom.
Be careful. Don't give up any details.
No, we were watching a movie in my bedroom. And on the movie, it wasn't like a scary movie or anything. Mm-hmm. But it kind of had like this ghost that would kind of like, ghost spirit that would kind of like possess a human and then like kind of want to take out the human race. Okay?
Okay.
So then they had like this whole like bad guys and good guys that like got together to kind of like combat this spirit ghost thing. Okay?
Cool. It sounds like this show I watched called Supernatural. Okay, keep going.
So I was trying to explain to him like the characters and what they were doing, and his eyes kind of got a little bit big, and he's like, I might need Teddy to sleep with me tonight. And I said, okay, well, I can't promise that he will, because he usually sleeps in our room. I said, but he might come sleep with you. So then I said, well, I'm going to go, check on Man-Meat on the couch and see if he's asleep or if he wants to come in the bedroom and watch the movie with us. And he's like, I'm coming with you. So he was like, follow me anytime I would try to leave. And so I said, what part of the movie is scary to you? And he told me, like, the ghost that kind of, like, possesses the humans. And I said, do you see or hear or can talk to, ghosts and spirits and stuff? And he said, mm-hmm. And I said, well, Aunt Lissa can, too. So just know I understand.
Yeah, so he's gifted.
So he's my mini.
That's interesting.
I always knew he was. I mean, ever since he was little, like, he would say little things that, like, he should not know, because he wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
Other things that nobody told him that he knew about. And but I remember when I was young, I didn't know what to make of all of that,
Yeah,
and, like,
so the listeners know that
because
MJ is totally gifted. Have we even mentioned that? I think we've mentioned some things. You're gifted.
I mean, maybe. I'm extremely intuitive, and
yeah
I have some gifts.
Like the X-Men.
And my nephew is gifted too. And it's nice that I'm actually, I'm there, because I didn't really have anybody there for me when I was younger. It wasn't really something that you talked about, because most adults think that you're crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an imaginary friend, or, oh, no, that wasn't real, that was a dream, or, oh, you're crazy, let's commit you,
Yeah.
You just don't talk about it.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It wasn't until I was 25 that I started kind of on that path of figuring out why I was paranoid all the time and always felt like people were watching me and around me and different experiences I had.
What happened to trigger that at around 25? Did you meet a person? Did something happen?
Yeah, I would say a life-changing, life-altering thing happened. Maybe it started at like 23 is kind of when I started this journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't say there was like one thing that triggered it. It was just kind of like this, like my life's path just kind of started leading me that direction, and then I just kind of started like meeting people, and then like pieces of puzzles were started to get put together, and I kind of did my own research, and yeah.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
I've known you since you were 14, right? Is that the right age, 14? Yeah. So 23, you started learning that you had all these superpowers.
Yeah, and up until then, I was just like secretly like paranoid and freaked out all the time. Like I would leave the mall, walk to my car in broad daylight with the keys like in my hand, ready to swing at somebody because I could always feel energy and people around me, like I was always being watched.
Mm-hmm.
And like spending the night at your friend's house when you were growing up was extremely uncomfortable to me.
Yeah. What was that like? What friends did you stay at their houses? You can say first names, don't say last. And then what was it like, and like tell me about an experience like that. That's interesting. So what was uncomfortable? Like when did you do that? How did that work with your gifts? What did you see?
Well, not everybody, most people are not aware of that part of the universe, or I don't know how you want to say it.
Other realms, other dimensions.
Other realms, spiritual side of things. They don't really think about it. They're not necessarily in tune with it. It's like they'll walk into, say, like some building, and they would like be like, ugh, I don't like the feeling in here. And they would just disregard it and leave. Mm-hmm. But they never really know why, right?
Yeah, but they did have a feeling of something. They just didn't know what it was.
Exactly. So they just dismiss it. But everybody has the ability.
I want to know specifically about when you stayed at a friend's house and what happened and how it felt. Do you have any stories?
Yeah. So this one person's house I stayed at, it was like a friend of a friend.
Okay.
Okay, so like, she was kind of in the circle, right? But like her and I didn't hang out one-on-one. Okay. So we were all kind of staying at her house, and
what year was this approximately?
I would say 8th grade freshman year.
Okay, so this would be
when you still had sleepovers, because after that it wasn't.
Was this just before we met? Because that would have been like your 8th grade.
It would have been after we met.
Okay, gotcha. So 2000-ish, around 2000.
Yeah, like I always tried to have my friends at my house. Like my house was the hangout. My house was comfortable.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when other people had sleepovers and invited me, I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
But you went to this one, so
very often.
You went to this one because your good friend was friends with this person. You were kind of like acquaintances with them, but it was going to be fun.
Yeah, like we hung out, but not individually. Like we always hung out kind of in a group. She was kind of in the group, but like her and I wouldn't really like chill together.
Yeah.
You know.
So what happened? So what's the setting? So like, where was the house? Was it in town? Was it like out in the country?
It was in town.
Okay.
It was in town. It was an older house in town. She has older brothers, and one of them always seemed really dark and sketchy to me. Mm-hmm. Actually, both of them kind of did.
So the brother seemed sketchy, and like something was up with him.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Well, I didn't really want to stay there. She was fine. But when I got into the house and I just kind of felt this like weird presence. And when you know that something's there, they know that you know that they're there. So therefore they follow you around.
Okay.
It's like because you operate
So like
on a
maybe
higher
the
frequency.
brothers, did the brothers have, do you feel now maybe they had attachments on them of some type? And the attachments were following you around, or were the brothers themselves following you around?
I don't think it was an attachment, right? So, like, I guess just to clarify, like, an attachment is something that just, it sticks with that person, follows them around, makes them think certain things, do certain things, act certain ways, put ideas in their head, right?
Uh-huh.
I think this was, like, in the house.
So the house, could the house itself have been making the brothers weird?
Not the house, but the spirit that was in the house.
The spirits in the house.
That spirit didn't leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was always there. So, yeah, I walk in and I'm like, I'm not liking this situation. So immediately this thing just starts, like, hovering me. And so I'm trying to hang out with my friends. I'm trying to block it. I'm trying to avoid it. I didn't really know what it was at the time, but I was, like, super uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Just this on-edge, eerie feeling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't sleep that entire night.
Was this like, what time of the year was it? I'm trying to get a setting. Summer?
I don't really know, actually. It was so long ago. I don't remember what time of year it was. I don't remember being outside, so I'm assuming it was cold.
It was cold, okay. And there was a bunch of girls sleeping over, and you were like all in the room, like usual sleeping bags or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like trying not to be like the weird, awkward kid, you know? Like, okay, yeah, I feel totally uncomfortable here. Like, this is odd. This is whatever. You know, you hear floors creaking and different things happening. Everybody's sleeping. You know, you got this uneasy feeling, like this energy in the room, and you just can't sleep.
You were like, I got to get through the night.
Yeah, but at the time I didn't know what it was. I just kind of thought I was a little bit crazy.
Yeah. But now we know that you know what it was.
I don't want my nephew to grow up like that. I want him to have an understanding from a young age.
Yeah, and there was no one there to tell you what certain things could be or help you understand what the meaning of things is. Even now, now, looking back to that time, maybe we really don't know everything what was going on there. And I think it's interesting of how, like...
They definitely shouldn't mess with anything unless they totally understand what the situation is and what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Because you can cause more harm. So that's, like, my number one key thing I tell people. Like, even if you find yourself being empathic or, you know, you can talk to spirits or whatever, like, do not try to rid anything, do not try to do anything unless you fully understand exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's interesting. So that's one thing that happened. And have you found like yourself running into that other times as the years have gone on? Like, what about like you'll be at a restaurant? Do you notice things? Like, you'll be out, like, even, I know for sure, is it okay if I say this? Like, we've been at the beach, and you've noted that at the beach at nighttime, there's a lot of activity. Mm-hmm. Like, talk about that. Talk about the beach and what happens there.
The beach in particular, so the ocean has a lot of energy. So many living organisms, like, mammals, everything in the ocean, right? Mm-hmm. So these spirits, they kind of, they draw energy from electronics or humans or anything. Cause
just the waves.
Has energy.
The waves create a ton of energy.
Waves, there's just so much energy there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't say that I encountered anything bad when I was on the beach. But But just a lot of, I mean, think about how many shipwrecks and how many, like, lonely souls, like, go to the water.
Yep.
For peace. You know, like, there's just so much spirit there.
That's
and
interesting.
Depending on,
I think about that all the time, so you know.
On what you encounter, but I noticed a lot of sadness in the energy and spirits that were at the beach.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I used to go to the beach and do shark. I would go get shark teeth at night. It's the best to get them on the moonlight. So when there's a huge full moon, you can see the shark teeth shine back at you, where the other stuff doesn't. It's something about it. So I can go find huge shark teeth. But I think about that because I'll go out by myself even. And I'm like, and I remember Melissa taught me that because I can feel the energy. That's why everyone lives by the water. There's an energy. It's a positive energy too. There's a good energy to it. Yeah. But also that energy it definitely makes me think like I'm probably out here with, a million spirits or something. They feel this energy too.
Oh, yeah. Constantly. Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it. I'm just saying what you told me makes me think of that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is not anything to be afraid of at all.
Yeah.
But I started helping people kind of get rid of the bad and the negative energies, entities, things like that. Like in their house and different attachments and stuff like that. And I finally went, you know what? Like, I don't even want to deal with, like, this lower energy, lower frequency anymore.
Yeah.
Because I would rather deal with the higher frequencies, so, like, God, angels, spirits, guides, stuff like that, and help people that way.
Yeah.
So I don't really deal with the darker neutral energies anymore.
That's interesting. And we know...
It became exhausting.
Yeah, because, like, think about it. If just, like, the few houses or, like, the times you've gone places, if they have these energies at them, probably a lot of, I'm not going to say all houses, but a lot of households could have something like that. And who knows why, Why is there, like I said, attachments or spirits?
Like, that's the thing, is you can pick them up anywhere.
You can.
And especially, like, if you're a bar goer, for example, they call it food and spirits for a reason, because you're not kind of in your right mind, so they can easily mess with you and have you do different things, and then they follow you home, and then they just keep messing with you. Like, that's just what they do.
Interesting.
They're not demons or anything, but they're just, like, different souls and spirits that are kind of, like, trapped and roaming around,
So that's attachment.
You can pick them up anywhere.
That's an attachment that you're picking up. Okay.
That is an attachment, yes. They go home with you, and they go everywhere with you.
That's why Professor Bam makes me do all these smoke things and stuff, and clears my energy when I go out of town or whatever. That's what she does for me. I go out of town, and I'm on a work trip for a week, and then I come back, and she's like, okay, we need to do a cleanse on you now, because you're coming into this house.
I'm glad that she does that, because, ever since Man-Meat started traveling, over the last year, there's been a couple times he's come home, and, like, he talks to me on the phone, and he's all sweet and wonderful and loving like normal. And then as soon as he crossed that threshold into the house, there's been maybe, like, 2 or 3 occasions, he is instantly infuriated with me.
Weird.
Over nothing. Yeah.
You had to get him cleansed.
So then I have to get, like, Sicilian Mafia, right? Because I'm like, oh, hell no.
After you throw chairs at him and stuff, then you cleanse them.
Yeah. Well, after I calm down from that, then I'm like, okay, wait a second. Yep. And then I kind of tap into things and go, okay, I need to take care of the situation. So I do, and everything's fine the next day.
Yep.
But there's only been, like, 2 or 3 occasions, and I'm like, whoa, I don't know what happened up there. But, you know, you got a whole bunch of guys staying together, working 7-10s. People are crabby. It's like the perfect scenario for some, you know, spirit to come into where they're staying and just make everyone angry.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he walks in here, like, that spirit knows that I know.
Yeah, and then it makes him...
Therefore, now it's directed at me, and I'm like, oh, hell no.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find all of this very interesting. I tell you what, I
hope other people do. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, I've done a lot of traveling. So, like, before pre-COVID, so the year before COVID, Professor Bam and I we went to, so I lived in Philadelphia for 4 years. So we still go back. It still feels like home in a way. I went to college there, out in Philly and New Jersey. So we went back to Philly, and just there's so much, like, old, like, you could feel the something going on there. They say that it's haunted, all these old buildings and stuff, and like we did like a ghost tour. There's definitely stuff going on over there in these old like 1600s, 1700s buildings, and I just find it really fascinating.
Think about how many people have been in and out of those buildings and had, like, you know, significant events happen there. And, you know, some people, it's like they're drawn to the ocean, and then some people are drawn to these old buildings. Like,
I wonder about your house, too, because, like, my house here, I spend so much time here in my house, and it's, like, my house. So I wonder, like, if I died, but my house was here 100 years from now, would I still be hanging around my house? Because I kind of, like, this is where I'm at most of the time. I'm at my house, hanging out.
I feel like you would choose to pass on into heaven and become an angel. So then you could visit whenever you want. I don't feel like you would be like in the spirit just roaming around, not sure what to do.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even if it's not me, are there people that stay at their houses, you think? Are there some people that do that?
I think, I'm not quite clear on this. However, I think you have an option.
Yeah.
Like, when you pass, if you're not ready to make a commitment, I feel like you could choose to stay here.
And some people probably do that, then. They don't walk into the light or whatever.
Maybe they're here because they're watching over some of their loved ones, you know, or I don't know. That I'm not quite clear on why they stay here, some people.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not clear on.
Maybe we'll learn.
But, you know, like,
when you learn over the years, just make sure you tell me when you figure it out.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, angels, you know, like, my grandparents are in heaven. They give me messages, come visit, and they go back. You know, they don't just, like, stay here with somebody.
They can just come there. They can just be in your presence, give you some type of message, and then they can go back to where they were.
Like guardian angels in a way. You know, like, they have a purpose in heaven. They do that, and then when they feel like someone needs them, they'll come down, give a message, and go back.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they don't, like, residually, like, haunt their house.
Yeah, why would they? You got better things to do.
Right. So I'm not quite sure why some people stay here all the time.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I wonder if, like, is something I wonder about. If you're a person that's like, you spend most of your time in your house, and you're like 90, excuse me, you're like 90 years old, and you pass on, but you didn't go. Are you still, like, you're just hanging around in your house?
From my encounters over the years, I would say that majority of the spirits I encountered, so not angels or guardians or anything like that of a higher frequency, but the most spirits I encountered had a tragic death.
Yeah. So something happened real crazy, and maybe.
And they're under the age of 50.
Hmm.
So there wasn't that time to make peace,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they're confused as to what happened.
Yeah.
And so they kind of just like stay around familiar territory.
That makes sense. What an interesting conversation. I don't even know how we came to be here. This is good.
Something to think about, right?
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about it right now.
Yeah, so like you've seen like, psychic medium on TV, right?
Mm-hmm. Teresa
The
Caputo.
blonde chick. Yeah, the blonde chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long Island
So,
medium.
yeah, but most of the information she gets are from spirits that have passed on into heaven that just like make an appearance to give a message and then go back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So it's not like she's going into houses that are haunted and ridding them of these weird spirits. She's like dealing with the higher frequencies, which is what I choose to do, and help people that way. But everyone that he seems to encounter is that way. I mean, they're a spirit, or they're an angel or a guardian of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
and they come and visit and give a message, and then they go back.
That's interesting. And then I wonder too, like, so angels and guardians. So you think we all have guardians and angels?
Everyone has somebody that is there all the time protecting them.
Yeah.
But you can use up your guardians.
Use them up?
So some people don't have any anymore.
How do you use them up? That's interesting.
You're an idiot and get into a million car crashes and they save your life several times when you should have died.
Okay. Yeah, I think
And
mine must have saved my life
you're
a
on
couple
your own.
times. I must have been saved a few times. I've been in some tragic, terrible car accidents that I survived. So hopefully my guardian's
Yeah,
okay.
and a lot of
I've been told that that I have these two giant angels that are standing behind me. By different people. Two different people told me the same thing. So I wonder about that. And then like sometimes, so just personally, I feel like there's a bunch of people around me, or like energy. You know what I mean? Like you know when you feel like if you close your eyes and you were in a room full of your friends, like you still feel like they're there. It does feel that way sometimes. What do you think that is?
Mm-hmm.
When I feel like I'm surrounded by like friends, but I don't. Nobody's
like
there. I can't see anyone. You know.
They're probably a lot of like your ancestry relatives.
Just checking me out, huh? Checking in.
Yeah, like my grandpa came through one time and he just said, I know that you're different than everybody else in the family, and that's okay. Just know that, and he said, I know that you feel alone a lot because there's not anyone like me. And he said, just know that you have a long lineage of ancestry that stands behind you.
Oh,
So I think that what you feel is a lot of like your ancestry, like your relatives and stuff that are always there.
that's interesting. I never thought of that. Yeah, I never thought of that. I just wondered, like, you know, you go into a room and it's like, man, this room is packed, but I'm the only one in it. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Well, I felt that way several times, yeah.
Yeah, I get that feeling. And sometimes you'll see things like sparkles or whatever.
As long as it's a good feeling, though, you're just kind of like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, it's never not. I never feel overwhelmed, ever, in any situation. I never have felt, even in, and I'm not going to go into these crazy stories, but even when there's been like evil or bad energy, I've never felt like I always feel strong, you know?
Yeah, because you're surrounded by light.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I never have felt
So it's like even
overwhelmed.
when I clear and cleanse my house, sometimes it's not very often that anything penetrates my walls because I'm pretty much on that,
Yeah.
But when it does occasionally happen, I just ask for anything that's not here for my best or highest good, that it must leave. And then I seal everything up. So therefore good energy is still allowed to come through.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever smoke? Do you ever smoke your house?
With sage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's like a kind of a way you do it. Like you start at one end of your house and you kind of walk through the room and you keep saying like anything that's not here for my best or highest good must go. And then after you get that room all clear, then you kind of put, like, I just use like pure essential oil of rosemary, and I'll just drip it on my windowsills and my threshold, and then I'll go in the next room. And so you kind of push things out. You don't want to trap anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of want to seal things up as you go.
Yeah, maybe that's why Professor Bam opens a door. When she's doing that.
Yeah, once you get to the end of it.
Yeah, she'll like open the door out into the backyard.
And there's been a couple times where, like, there's been some stubborn things I've encountered, not necessarily at my house, but other people's houses that I've helped them with. There's been some stubborn things that I encountered and some evil things that I encountered. And I'm like, oh, hell to the no. And I had to stand up and fight for that one to go.
Yeah. It was like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Like, showing the gnawing teeth and the whole craziness. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
Not in my house, but in other people's.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Professor Bam was like an X-Men 5 years ago, I want to say. Like, the things that she was able to do, and it was insane. So she was she was helping this doctor's office was like totally, I wonder if she's okay with me telling the story. I'm going to anyways. Totally overtaken. Something was there bad. And the things that I saw happen that day, I will never forget. I saw like smoke appear in the air, 3 huge flies, like horse flies, but like massive, like appeared in the air and were like started like flying at her. She was doing something. It's like a movie made for or like a movie type story. You know, the doors that were locked smashed open and started slamming open and shut.
Yeah.
All kinds of it sounded like bangs were happening on the walls. And it was crazy. And then the people in the next building actually came over to check on the doctor was there with us, the woman. It was her practice.
Okay.
And someone from like the next door building was like, I heard this banging. I wanted to make sure everything was okay. We weren't banging anything. The doors were doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can get crazy. And and trust me, there's people that is what they are supposed to do, because that is all part of, somebody's purpose, and those people need help,
Yeah.
I started kind of helping people that way, and then I started dealing with higher frequencies.
Yeah, maybe Professor Bam needs to do that. Ever since that, though, like once we've left that, she's totally, it's like, have you seen where Superman and they like took Superman's powers away? That's how she feels.
Yeah.
She's like, she's like powerless now.
Feel.
She like helped these people, totally helped them, and now she like, her gifts and stuff are like gone.
Really?
Yep. She helped.
I mean, I always felt drained afterwards,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so she's having a hard time kind of tapping back into those gifts. So maybe she's
not able to do it anymore, any of it.
Yeah. So
and I'm not going to go into all the different things that were there, but I can tell you, I'm not a crazy person. I'm very highly educated, and I have seen with myself the things that she was able to do, and it was like unexplainable. You know, like you
Yeah.
too. I would attest if someone asked me, does MJ have abilities to do things? I would say I have had personally things happen to me, and MJ will call me literally within 10 minutes and say, what has happened? Something has
Well,
happened.
you've
And
been there though too when I've done something.
I've been. I've been. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
you. I've seen you help people. Um, so like, same
But
thing.
that's on but that's on like a higher frequency, like a healing,
Uh huh.
purpose. Yeah, so it's kind of something I've switched to. So maybe it's time for Professor Bam to kind of get into that part of it.
Yeah, so it was all at the same time. So she was like doing all these things. We were going from place to place. So we helped this doctor, and then this doctor told another person, "Oh my God, my place was like haunted." And Professor Bam and Buck and I helped too. I did some things, so helped us, and like it's all good now. So then they recommended us, and then we went to this like mansion, this woman's house, and she says to Professor Bam nothing, and Professor Bam fixes it. And then we go to the next thing.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like we were on Supernatural, like the TV show or something. We were like going from place to place. And then we ran into, I'll tell you this. So that's not exactly how the powers went away. We ran into something really bad. Even worse than that. Like there was this person who, I don't know how this happened. Professor Bam's in college. This is all at the same time that this all started happening. We found out this person was making fake college textbooks. They would buy one of them and then they would make copies of them. Okay? Which is whatever.
Okay.
And they were like, then they would like, it was a huge scheme of what would happen. I'll have to have Professor Bam tell us more. Maybe I'm not going to be able to explain it right, but to make a long story short, she basically was taking these people on, okay? And it wasn't just people. This guy was something bad. Something bad was there. And then she said that it was either 3 or 4 black dark horsemen type figures came came here to like take her on, and she was like, she took them on. Okay, I could see none of this. I believed her. I was like, okay. She could. So, and then after that encounter, where she had to like, and she like fought them off. After that encounter, is when the powers were gone.
Okay, so here is something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I call them like the devil's minions.
Yeah.
They have like these black hooded capes, and they're there to do the devil's work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not demons per se, but they're like the devil's minions. They're like kind of like, I don't know if you want to call them as warriors or whatever you want to call them. Okay.
Yeah.
I took on 6 of them at one of my friends' houses. And after that is when I was like, I'm just kind of done with this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd that, like, she took on the 4, and then, I don't know if you want to say her abilities went away, or it was just kind of like, you just defeated the hardest thing to defeat.
Yeah.
Now move on to the next level of Jumanji. Like, I don't really know.
We had,
after I did those 6, and it took a lot out of me, that I said, I feel like I'm done with this.
Yeah, and you went to something else.
Things.
That's what, so we have a shaman friend, and he said basically the same. He's like, you have different, maybe this is a time for you to learn something else. Like, that might be on pause for a reason, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
So she's trying to come to grips with that, because to her, she felt totally, literally empowered. She had these gifts, and now the gifts are like turned off, you know. So what he said was, this is a time for you to like focus on other things. to like build other things. So that's interesting.
Because I feel like there's so much more to do for people with like the higher frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than the lower. Like, yes, like people do need that kind of help,
Yeah, because she just kept running into these bad, and it was a lot of businesses too. There was these evil, bad, like demon type people that were having these evil, bad businesses. Like we've run into multiple of them, and then we uncovered literally huge schemes that they were running.
Yeah.
She kept being pulled into these directions. I'm like, we got to stop this too. I was like, I don't want to keep running into this. This is weird.
That's how I felt too. I was like, man, everywhere I turn, I'm encountering like these dark entities, and I'm like, this is getting exhausting.
Yeah.
But then after, like, there was 6 of them there.
Yep.
And what they were doing is they were protecting the one that was in the house.
Yeah.
So these 6 were outside of the house trying to overpower my energy and give that entity in the house energy. And I had to wipe them all out.
Yeah.
So it was like me against 7.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, yeah.
You'll have to talk
tired.
I want you to talk about this next time you get a chance to talk to Professor Bam and talk to her about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting that we encountered the same thing.
Yeah.
They call them like the devil's minion. I always said they
had like horsemen is what she said, on horses.
It was a black hooded cape, and they had a human face, but there was something odd about their face, right? Like whether they had like the pointy teeth or they had like the weird eyes. Like this one time, I went to have a couple drinks with one of my employees after work at the bar. This is when I got off at like 9, so I was like, yeah, I'll have a drink or two, go home. And this guy was creepy, okay? He was in there and he was creepy, and he just kept eyeballing me. And I could see this like hooded character with him, right? This spiritual hooded whatever. And never said anything, just tried to avoid him, whatever. He ended up, after staring and passing and whatever, and it wasn't him that was looking at me. It was whatever was with him was portraying itself through this guy, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
And so this guy comes over to me out of nowhere, and he says, do you believe that Jesus died for your sins? And I said, yes, I do. And he goes, do you believe that, oh God, what was the other thing he said? Oh, do you believe that Jesus is your Lord and Savior? I said, yes, I do. And he stared at me, but it wasn't him, it was this thing was staring at me, and I stared back at it, and I was like, back the F off.
This is crazy. I can't believe that happened to you.
It was very strange. So obviously my coworker's looking at me like, what the was that?
Yeah, because like, man, that's totally crazy. Yeah. If you're just out and they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about that was a hard day at work and I'm going to have a drink, and they're not thinking about crazy demon shit.
And I'm feeling all uncomfortable noticing this thing with this guy. It's looking at me through this guy's eyes.
And the guy came over and said these things to you too. What'd your coworker say?
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, what'd your coworker say? Were they like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I said, well,
let me explain a few things to you here.
That was talking to me.
Yeah. So like you heard what you heard, coworker. You heard the thing that you heard, but there was also other things being said.
And most people would think like, oh, that guy's weird. And I'm like, it's not that guy. It's what's with him, talking through him. Like, this guy is not even going to know this happened.
Strange.
Tomorrow.
Very strange.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an odd one.
What a story.
But yeah, they do pick up on that. That's why I said when you operate at a higher frequency, they know it's like a moth to a flame. The dark always tries to take over the light, so it's like this constant battle.
Yeah. What have
Yeah.
you been doing? Have you been doing anything spiritually recently because I know you're doing there's a lot of changes in your life happening right now.
I am.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
It's kind of a weird spot to be in. For once, I'm not really sure like what I'm doing or what my future is. However, I seem to get a lot of messages when I talk to people. There's been a lot of things where it's, like I said earlier, my client just messaged me about a referral thing, and it was like, call her. So I called her, and then we ended up talking about bridging the gap.
Yeah.
And it was like pieces of the puzzle she was trying to put together. So it's like almost like I had to take a step back to kind of help other people put the pieces of the puzzle together. So I'm not really sure. Like, it'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll just like text one of my cousins, like, hey, the guy in the gray hoodie, he's bad, stay away.
Wow, you'll get that message, huh?
I'll just wake up, and it'll be like, text so-and-so this. And so I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just bizarre things. And there's like this guy that I've met just through like work acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps kind of like popping up in my life through work acquaintances. And I've had messages for him before in the past, and like I just had another one maybe a few weeks ago. And he happened to text me out of the blue. He's a real estate agent. And he just kind of like texted me out of the blue about my building. And I said, oh yeah, I'm sold it, whatever. And then I got the message, call him. I was like, gosh darn it, like I'm trying to make sauce, like I'm trying to do this stuff, And so I put it off for like a half hour, and then it just kept like, call him. So I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't want to do it. It's kind of unprofessional, right?
Yeah.
So I called him. I was like, what's up? And he's like, oh, I just had some questions about the building. Someone was interested in buying it. Didn't know you sold it, that kind of thing. And I'm like, so are we going to talk about what's going on in your life or what? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, you want to talk freely, or do you want me to just start like randomly throwing things out there? I don't know what they mean, but you will,
Yeah.
So it ended up being like an hour-and-a-half conversation with him, and it was, he was kind of at a crossroads that I didn't know about, struggling with career and personal life and whatnot, and overcoming different things, and I was able to help him.
That's interesting.
So I'm kind of like that weird person that you never know is going to call or text random shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know.
You've done that to me a whole bunch of times, and that's okay.
I know.
I love that. I feel like you're always in my corner.
It's not like I'm like sitting here meditating, like waiting for something to come through so I can make a difference. I'm just going about my life, and it's like, hey, call so-and-so,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, right now, trying to walk in the woods with my dogs, have a great time, trying to make sauce, doing laundry,
Well,
so I put it off, and then it just pounds me till I do it.
You just keep getting messages.
That's what I'm doing.
Well, you do help a lot of people. You've helped me a whole bunch of times. Just even in the past year, you've called me at random times, and I'm like, oh. And also, it's very strange. It's unexplainable. So anyone that wants to say, oh, this is all nonsense, you guys are crazy. Things have happened that you have know nothing of it. When you're calling me about it, you should not know. I'm not on social media. I'm not posting anything anywhere. And you'll call me and you'll know that this happened, or something has happened right now to me that I need to talk about, and that we need to work through.
Yeah.
You know, some
Yeah.
real crazy shit.
Well, there's been times too, like I will be in the middle of, I don't know, doing something because I'm never not doing anything. And then I'll just, look at my man meat and go, I need to call so-and-so. And he just kind of looks at me like, okay, what for? I was like, not sure. And then I go in the other room, close the door, make a phone call. There's usually a purpose for it.
Yep.
So.
That's what it's like being married to the Long Island medium. She says...
And he'll wake up, sometimes it'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, do you really want me to answer that? Or you just want to go back to bed?
Yep. So
I was getting like these weird dreams, probably like 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not sure what they mean. So if you could help me, that'd be cool.
Let's talk about it.
It happened probably like for a week straight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would get the feeling like it was like wee hours in the morning, like 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock a.m. or whatever. Sometimes it would be in the middle of the day. I needed to go underwater.
In the dream?
Like,
even daydreaming?
Myself in...
Daydreaming, you're like, all of a sudden the daydream comes into your mind and you have to go underwater.
Like, I will be going throughout my day, and it's like, you need to take a bath, go underwater. Like,
oh, yeah, I was going to say, did you smell bad? Do you need a shower?
No. It's like, I need to submerge myself underwater. It doesn't matter what kind of water it was.
Interesting.
And you know me well enough, like, I don't want to get my hair wet, it'll ruin my hair. I don't want to get my face wet, it'll ruin my makeup. Like, anytime I go swimming, I don't go underwater.
But ever. You kept getting the message, you need to be underwater.
Yeah, and I'm not a strong swimmer. Like, I can swim in a pool, but in the ocean, oh my gosh, no, terrified. Yeah. That goes back to a past life thing, that's a whole nother story. But I was like, I don't know what this means. So, after like a week of this, and I told my man meat about it, I was like, just so you know, if you hear me filling up the hot tub at 3 o'clock in the morning, I just got another message. I need to submerge myself underwater. So don't be alarmed. So I did.
You filled the hot tub
after
up.
Like a week. Yeah. And I went underwater. And nothing happened.
Were they just trying to trick you?
I was waiting for
you were going to go underwater and like explosions were going to happen, or like the next part of the message.
Some sort of message I couldn't hear. Like maybe I needed to go underwater so I could hear, like drowned everything out so I could hear a message I wasn't receiving or something. No, nothing happened. And then nothing happened after that. I never got any more of these things about me having to submerge underwater after I did it. I was like, well, what the hell was that?
Maybe you need to be,
cool. It's been going on for a week.
Maybe the message is that you needed to be baptized again. And you baptized yourself in the hot tub, you know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So I found that kind of frustrating.
Yeah, that's something to think about. I'm going to think about that.
Yeah. Because I thought, okay, well, maybe I just need to, like, drown out the noise of my life and everything that's crazy all the time, and there's going to be some great message I'm not hearing. No? Ain't shit that happened underwater.
That's an interesting story that happened. And how long ago was that?
Yeah. Probably about 2 to 4 months ago.
Okay. And you just kept getting the message. You need to submerge yourself in water. I just think that it meant, so if it was 2 months ago, the winter was there, and you needed to go to Florida to visit your friend, Buck, and Professor Bam, and go to the beach. That's all I get from it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So sometimes it gets frustrating because I don't necessarily get messages for myself. I get them for other people. But I don't know. I'm just a vessel. I'm just here. I'm the random girl that'll call or text you something that I know nothing about that will somehow change your life.
Yeah, and even the person that you talk to might not know. Like, I'm friends with a medium, and she's an evidential medium, and she's on TV right now and stuff. I'm not going to say her name. But we hang out, and she doesn't, like, when she has a message, she doesn't know what it is, and the person doesn't know. It doesn't click for them. Like, when you've called me, and I'm like, I don't know anything of what you're talking about. But then, like, I had to go ask Professor Bam. You were like, well, ask Professor Bam, and so I do. And I'm like, well, what were you doing? And I'm not going to go into the details on that, but basically it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, what the thing was.
Yeah.
So, like, even the person you call might be totally, like, I have no fucking clue. I've said that to you. I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. I said, but let me try to find out.
Well, yeah, and then after you asked Professor Bam and found out what she was doing, I was kind of like follow-up text message like, hey, was I supposed to, like, give you a heads up about it? Or,
and since then, which is weird,
I'm not really sure.
I'm not going to go into this whole thing, but that message is weird because then it's led into a whole bunch of other things with us, which is weird.
I know.
But we'll see what happens.
I know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I don't know. I do have one cousin, though, that she's stressing me out a little bit.
What's going on?
I shouldn't let it stress me out, but she's somebody I've been getting messages for a lot more than other people, okay? And it seems like every time she has no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, listen, lady, I'm not sleeping because of you. So if you could probably try to find some sort of relevance to this, that would be great.
Yeah, figure this out. And what is she saying to you? Like, kind of like how I did, like, I have no idea, but let me try to find out. She's saying, I have no idea, but not trying to find out.
But then there's really, like, no follow-up. Like, did you ever find it out? Did you not? Like, I feel like I gave you the message, so...
Yeah. Follow up.
Oh, I don't know.
She needs to follow up. I'm going to follow up. You're going to know. We'll put it, and then we'll come back on the pod and we'll talk about this, the complete message, how it started and how it ended.
It kind of makes me want to message her and be like, so, did you ever find out about this or that? Or, no, you just giving up? Okay.
Yeah. That's the hard part.
Yeah. She's really the only one, though. Now, and she's been the one that has been coming, like, messages a lot.
Well, you guys are in each other's lives for a reason. So, just keep giving her.
Frustrating me.
She's gonna keep frustrating you. Keep giving her the messages, and just tell her, listen, you've not confirmed anything back to me. I'm just gonna keep giving you these messages. And if I was you, because you can tell her to call me. And I'll tell her, when Melissa calls you and tells you this thing, you need to stop your stupid bullshit and just think about what she's saying to you. Because you've helped me a million times. And a lot of those times, I don't even know what the hell you're calling about. I don't know. But then you'll say, and then it clicks, and it's someone near me. Or someone that's doing something for me. You know? And it does make sense, and then we can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I can do is give her the messages, and it's up to her what she does, and from there.
Yeah. I am so hungry right now, so I'm on day 1 of this fast, and you mentioned you were making your sauce, okay? And ever since you said those words, my stomach's like growling. It's hungry. I made
a whole bunch of food for the guys to go out of town today. Yesterday, I made a bunch of food yesterday.
Yeah. What'd you make? What'd you send them? What'd you send them off with?
I sent them off with biscuits and gravy. I sent them off with mostaccioli. I sent them off with tortilla chips and queso.
It all sounds so good.
I made them some burger patties that they can cook. And since we're only going to be there for a couple days, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's a lot of good food.
Usually I send them with about a week's worth, but they only needed a couple days worth, so.
Yeah. So it is, I can't believe it's March. It's March 1st.
It is March.
I can believe because I had to send out
means?
What's that?
Spring is near.
Spring is near. That does mean that. Yeah, and I think you guys are going to have an early spring, I think.
I hope so. I already cleaned off my patio, rearranged it, got the grill all hooked up. I'm so ready.
Yep, I can't come to Michigan in the spring because I have terrible allergies in the spring. But I'm having them here right now. Right here, right now, I got two giant oak trees in the back that are literally all covered in pollen. And that pollen's all going to drop here soon. It's already getting me. I'm already having to do like allergy medicine, nasal sprays twice a day. In the morning I take a Zyrtec, and the night I take a, what's the pink ones? Benadryl. Take Benadryl to go to bed.
The barometric pressure is what gets me. Because in Michigan, it'll be like 60 one day, and the next day it'll be like 32.
Yeah.
You know? And then one day it'll be like sunny, and then 2 hours it'll rain.
Yep.
So I've kind of been having some issues. Like yesterday, it was almost 60 degrees. And today it was a high in the 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
So I've been...
Was it foggy in your area?
I've been having to, like, press mute on my phone so I can cough because I've been having drainage today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, just press mute, cough. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I just press mute when I have to cough because the drainage is choking me.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Good. Yeah, I just want to hear you coughing and sneezing if you could. Just let it roll. We'll do an entire episode.
People would think that I had the Rona.
That's true, and that's the other thing that I'm wondering about with these pollen and the allergies. Because all these sick motherfuckers, they're really sick. You could tell they're sick. I have severe allergies, let me tell you. So I know what it sounds like when you cough or something from an allergy, and I know when you got some croup shit. So we were at Dave Chappelle. We weren't at Dave Chappelle. We were at Damon Wayans. We went out to the comedy club, and we were at Damon Wayans. And like a couple, like 3 seats down, maybe about 20 feet from us, this woman and this dude, they had the croup. And they were like, allergies, it's just allergies. They kept telling the other people. And we were like, what the fuck? This ain't allergies. These motherfuckers are going to get all of us sick. They're like, they're croup coughing. And I'm like, I got allergies. And I'm like, that ain't it. I don't know what allergy you got, but it sounds like you got the fucking coronavirus. Or like the flu or something. I don't get that.
Because like an allergy cough is like phlegmy.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
It's not like that dry, hard chest cough.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, you know the one. You know the one they were doing. Uh-huh. And I was just like, man, if I was sick like that, I would not be going out. I'm not going out to the thing. Why do people, especially with people are going to look at you and they're going to judge and everything. Even at 10,000% more, these people just didn't give a fuck. They were going to go out. They were going to, croup cough all over everybody. And it was what it was. And there's going to be people and you're just not going to stop them. They're going to do, they're sick.
Do you guys have to wear masks in Florida?
No, we don't have to. Do we? I went to Walmart today. I wore a mask. I took it off for a minute because I noticed I was
It looks like
I was shopping, and then I noticed there were some like younger, like cute girls, and none of them had masks on. I'm like, should I? I shouldn't wear a mask either. And then I took it off, and then I walked back to these clothes, and I looked around, and then there was like 5 people around me, and they all had masks on. I'm like, I better put my mask on, and then I just never took it off.
well, it looks like China and Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's different. It's almost
people-
normal here. Like restaurants are open. Yeah, restaurants are open. Stores are open. Everything's open. The weather's beautiful. And did you hear the percentage? So in the past 6 weeks since the inauguration, COVID new cases have dropped by 77%.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happened, but somehow
But you're supposed to wear double masks, right?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happened, but it's not explainable because we haven't vaccinated enough people for that to make the difference. The only thing, the thing they said, this was in the Wall Street Journal. Peep, cut it out, Peep. We're on a podcast. That's my dove. The Wall Street Journal published it, and it was an expert. And what they said was probably a lot more people have had the virus than what we even thought. And we're probably reaching, he said by April, we will have probably reached almost a herd immunity status. So by April, we will have vaccinated like 50 million people. And then a tremendous amount of the population has probably already had it. Even if you didn't know, you might have had it. Might have had it with no Pete, cut it out. You might have had it with no symptoms.
Yeah, I
So-
think I had it in 2019 before it was a thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that around like October, November of 2019.
You got really sick?
And then, yeah, I had a low grade fever for like a week about 2 weeks. And, nothing that would like keep you down, but like you were exhausted and couldn't really explain it. And I kind of had like some congestion. So you're just kind of like, well, I don't know. Let's take some Tylenol and go back to work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm talking like you're running like a 99.6. Like it ain't anything terrible.
Yeah, just like a little bit of a fever. You gotta. So then
a little bit of congestion, which leads to a little bit of a cough, but nothing terrible other than that stupid low-grade fever that I couldn't break for like 2 weeks. I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
And then of course, like I don't go to the doctor like for anything. I do everything natural.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have medical insurance. So I ended up going to like the walk-in clinic to see if I had the flu. And I tested negative for all of it, and they're like, well, it's just a virus, I guess. Just have to let it run its course. And I literally started crying because I was like, I have felt like shit for 2 weeks, and you're sitting here telling me like nothing's wrong with me.
Yeah. Or that it's just a virus.
I had it.
Yeah, basically it's
November.
Well, there's a lot of noise happening right now. If you can't tell, it's I don't know why it is, but
Sorry,
this is
your
my
son
dog.
threw up all over the bedroom.
Okay, my dog threw up. What did he do?
Man.
What did he eat? A box?
It looks like he must have eaten some grass, so he threw up all his food everywhere.
Oh, he ate grass. Good.
Just
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Food is gross.
He ate grass and then threw up all of his food.
Yeah.
Is that him drinking like a cow?
That was Asha drinking.
Oh, that's my Asha.
Now he's looking for food.
Yeah, anyone listening to this podcast, which is only probably like 10 people that are going to listen. But that's not a cow, that's my dog, and she's a St. Bernard.
She's the size of a cow.
And she drinks very loudly. And that other noise is my bird, my dove, and he's howling. I say howling, but he's singing. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Is he humping? Is he humping your dog stuffed animals?
No,
still?
he's not doing any humping right now, but he wishes he was.
But does he still do that?
Yeah, he would do that, yeah. Yeah, he's a lovebird.
Specifically
The moose.
that's animals with eyes.
Yeah, the pig, the moose. Yep, he'll hump all the. Yep. So he got excited.
All the time. He'd let Peep out of his cage. He'd be like, and he'd just go over to like the dog,
humping away,
and just doing his thing.
He's a sex machine. So what happens is if you flip the light on, so like we're downstairs, you know the room where the TV's at, and the birds are in the window. So when Professor Bam flips the lights on, Peep got all like excited. He like woke up and he started howling. I call it howling. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep, now the dog's eating too, so we'll get to hear that on the podcast. Perfect.
I just gave him a little bit.
This is a down home. You'll hear it later.
If that makes you feel any
You
better.
can't hear it, but this microphone that picks up everything will hear it all. So like we'll all hear the dogs eating, drinking, the birds. It'll be fantastic. It's part of the deal. It's part of the podcast. This is a dog pod. This is a dog cast, okay? This whole house is filled with dogs, and your whole house is filled with dogs. This is a dog-loving podcast. There's nobody that's ever going to... If anyone comes on to listen to this and says, I don't like the sound of a dog drinking, good. Kiss my ass. Change the channel. Go somewhere else, because we love dogs, and all these are rescue dogs, and this bird loves to hump squeaky toys with eyes. Anything you have. If you have a thing, we have a little pig and it makes an oink oink noise. And it's purple and it's got eyes, and my bird will have sex with that pig constantly. He's a sex machine.
Oh, Peep.
That's what this is what this podcast is. It's just what it is, okay?
I feel like anyone that has animals can relate because, a lot of people are working from home right now, so they're trying to, do all these Zoom meetings and stuff. You can't control what your animals do all the time. You
can't. And, like, you'll hear later if you listen to this, but the wash machine keeps going, and then when it's done, it plays this little long song. It's not like a little couple dings either. It's like, and you probably couldn't hear it on the phone, but this microphone will hear it. And it will play for like a minute. And it's playing this long Yankee Doodle Dandy song loud. So like, yeah. You cannot, it's what it is. I can't say don't do laundry. It's just what it is. I do my podcast. I sit in my chair. I hook it up to my PlayStation and talk. So it's going to be a real life situation. This is not a studio. This is a house with dogs. And Peep. Yep, and Professor Bam.
The
Zoomer.
toy humping bird.
Yep. Yeah, we're living large, so I mean things are good. It's Monday. It's fucking March 1st. I know it's March 1st because I had to pay a lot of bills. And I kept saying, I can't fucking believe it's March already. And I'm sending these bills out again.
Yeah, and because Man Meat left this afternoon for a few days, he was writing checks and I was paying bills, and holy crap! By 11 o'clock, I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna need some more money."
Yeah, we need some cash. However, we're gonna do that for sure. Where are you at, President Biden? When are we getting that money? When's that $1,400 check coming?
I got my bills, then we got our bills. This is insane.
Mm-hmm. And then you packed his lunch and sent him off the road to go make some money. Get your ass back to that job and don't come back until you have some money.
And then I got on the phone and started following up with all these other jobs that are taking forever. Everyone's dragging their feet, can't get anything done with any of these corporate, commercial, big businesses anymore. It takes forever to go through 45 people's hands to pass anything. And then I went to the post office to drop off the bills, and then I went to the bank because we actually got a check today. That was woohoo. off
All right.
a little bit, so I had to go deposit that right away.
Yeah.
And
How
then
do
I
you
had to
do it?
drop
Do
off a bill
you go
to
to the bank to
one of
deposit the checks?
What?
You go to the bank, and what do you go to, like the bank, how you put it in the chute and it like shoots into the bank, or do you like go in? You can't go in, can you? Is the bank even open in Michigan?
No, I just went through the drive-through.
Yeah. And what do? Do you put the check? Oh, the drive-through. So you put it in a machine.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I've been scanning, so
Yep.
so for the past 5 years, they had a limit on our account where we could only do a certain amount at first, but now they've like greatly increased it. So now we just do, and at first I was really afraid to do it. I was like, I don't know, are they really going to credit my account? But we use like Bank of America, and we scan the checks for a company, and we're able to just scan the checks in, and it works. I mean, then we save them, and I tell Professor Bam, I'm like, do not lose this check. What if they tell us we didn't deposit it, so we keep them?
Do you remember like the checkbooks that were like the size of a briefcase, right? So you have like the check stub. You got like 3 or 4 on a page.
Yeah.
And then you can like tear it off and keep all your check stubs.
Mm-hmm.
He still does that.
Oh, he's old school. Well, he's 60 years old. I mean, of course he does that.
He's not 60.
50.
He doesn't
I'm
look
sorry.
a day
He's 50
over
years
35.
old. He's 50. He's an old school player. Okay? Don't hate the player.
Not sway. He gets so mad. Everybody does all these, PDFs and scan this, email that, do this, do that. So
I want a drawing. It needs to be drawn with an artist with paint in his hand. I don't want it on a computer.
Story. Like, he still, does drawings to scale, okay? And he's like, I want one of those old school drafting tables with the arms that come off and all the measuring stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I said, they have computer programs for that. He's like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can sit here and draw forever if you want.
Yeah.
But
it's hard. Once you get to that age, when you're 50 years old and you've been doing something for
architects are all computerized, so
yeah, let them do it. When you're 50 and you've been doing something your whole life a certain way, just keep doing what you're doing.
And he does.
If he wants to figure out the other stuff, that's fine. Like for me, I was the vice president of a big company, and I had to be in charge of building. I didn't realize what it was going to take to build a website, and that's what got me into being able to build websites myself, because I couldn't believe, when they're coming to me and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a fucking website. I said, I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be that much, but it's hard as fuck. You can do it really easily, but if you're going to build a big website for a big company that has all kinds of functionality, it does cost a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. But that's what got me into it, and I would have never known. I was to a certain point in my life where I don't need to be a computer programmer. I don't need to write code and do all this stuff. But just because it was so shocking how much money they were going to charge us to make the website, I said, I need to learn how to do this. I need to figure this out. I had no idea.
He won't do anything on the computer, but he will get, all the emails to his phone, and
he'll do
print
email
off PDFs.
Yep.
But he'll deal with the printer and the phone.
Yep.
But that's about it. Everything else on the computer is all me.
Good. Yep, he needs you. He's going to need you more and more every day that goes by. The old school.
I remind him every time he gets crabby.
Yep. You remind him of how much value you add to his life. Yep.
I'm like, that's cool. I don't have to do anything. That's fine. You got it. You're running the show. It's all you, buddy.
Yep.
Then he starts eating the pantry, walking around in circles. I'm like, oh, did you want me to cook something? No, I don't need anything. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Do you then? And then he snaps out of it in like an hour.
he's like, dear, I really need something to eat.
Then I hear, hey, baby doll, can you find that file for me on so-and-so's account? I need to look up this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Hey, baby doll. I'm like, now I'm baby doll.
Yeah, baby doll. That's what he's like. Hey, baby doll, can you do this?
Nah. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Well, that's good. We all figure it out, you know. I do the same thing. Today, I was like, we had gotten something was mistakenly sent to our company out west to a facility, and I started yelling at Professor Bam. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why is it said her name on it? It was like some Amazon thing. I was like, why is this going to the company? Amazon screwed up somehow. I don't know. And then I came downstairs and I'm like, oh dear, I'm so sorry for the way I talked. She didn't say anything to me. She just knew I was, stupid.
Yeah, you're like, well, idiot.
I was an idiot. I was so stupid. So I can relate to the man meat on that, because I saw this and I was like, why is this happening? First of all, because I'm getting like the person that works for me doing this is having to send me scans of this mail. Say it again.
Do you get in the mode though where like, why is this happening? What's going on? You need to fix it. Do you get in that mode?
Oh,
you,
no.
Like, put
No,
it
no.
on her?
No, she doesn't need to fix it, but I needed to figure it out. And I need it because I'm like, what's happening? How many Amazon packages have gone to Wyoming to our facility? Why is this happening? Because then I'm paying someone to do something to like scan things of my Amazon boxes. That's probably like lipstick or something that she's ordered. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm paying someone to do this. Why is this shipping here? So there was just some mistake. We didn't do it. They just, who knows why they did it. They fucked something up. We didn't even know they had the address to that place. We didn't ship anything there. We checked. Oh, it was the billing address on the credit card, because it's a work card that we had used. So they shipped the shit to a billing address. Weird. I don't know. So, but I did what man meat did.
You know me well, right?
Yeah.
Probably better than most people.
I would say, yeah. I've known you for a long time.
Okay. And you would say that I'm kind of high-strung, type A personality. I don't
Very
sleep
type A.
well.
Yep.
Kind of tornado, like kind of hyper, right?
Sure, yeah. Always moving.
Yeah. Always moving. Well, most people that encounter me, they think I have high energy. And so I told one of my high school friends, who I don't really talk to anybody from high school besides you.
That's sad.
And but I did her hair like every couple months.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to her and I'm all like jacked up on rock stars, like.
Okay, I'm picturing this now. Yeah.
Shift, like let's get this on,
Yep.
So it's like me on caffeine. And I was telling her. I was like, yeah, I'm the calm one in the relationship. And she's like, she looked at me, she's like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, you have no idea. I'm like, this dude's crazy. He's like ADHD, not ADD like me.
Yeah.
And like, he's like type A, like acts on pure emotion, no rationality. Like, he's a tornado all the time. I'm like, I'm the grounding force. I'm the calm one. She's like, that's scary. I was like, tell me about it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yep, you are the calming force.
But I get bored, like if you don't really have a personality and you're like super laid back, like I just kind of walk all over you because you're in my way.
Yep.
Like not on purpose, but if you're just going to kind of be like a wet noodle, like with no personality and just kind of be like me, like, okay, move aside.
You have a fiery man meat. He's fiery and very emotional. And he sounds...
Keeps things interesting.
Yeah, he sounds very nice.
He's crazy.
Yep, sounds very nice and crazy. And that's okay. We all are. Just like I said, I was getting
I'm
like...
Sicilian, I get bored.
I was getting crazy today. And it was over the dumbest thing. Like, because the girl that works for me in Wyoming doing the, whenever mail or anything comes in, then she's having to like scan Amazon boxes that aren't supposed to be there and tells me, what are these? Like, what, I don't even know what it is. Then they have to be shipped to me. That makes me mad.
Right.
It was no one's fault. And I figured that out fast. I'm like, ooh, I was just talking like I shouldn't have been to Professor Bam. I was like, I'm sorry, dear. Please, I take it all back, I said. I take it all back. And so, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the situation. I'm like mad that why is this fuckery happening?
Yeah.
But I can't not be. You would like to not be, but the way that I win and the way that I'm able to win and make our life good is because I care about things not being fucked up. Okay? Because that's the reason why Elon Musk builds his companies well. He's an asshole. I have to be me to be me. I would like to be nice all the time, but I can't. I am fucking very type A. I am very fiery of what I do. I have to be.
That's what he says too. I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at what's going on.
Yep.
I mean, what the hell? I must be the smartest person in the world, and I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. Like why this is, but it's Amazon fucks things up sometimes. What are you gonna do?
Right.
That's all I said. Moving on.
Yep.
Yep, that's what it is. So, so the moral of the story is recapping our podcast. Okay, let's do a quick recap.
Let's recap.
So we talked about spirituality. We talked about your gifts and some of your experiences, which was really cool. I feel like it could be a movie. Like your life, that like description of like you staying over with your gifts could have been like a Stranger Things episode or something. So that was really cool. We talked about our relationship dynamic, how you use your gifts sometimes to help me. We've talked about diets. I talked about and only because it's something that's major, and also I'm super hungry right now. We talked about my fasting. You talked about how you think I'm crazy fasting. And then you talked about your...
No, we talked about it might work for you, I feel like.
We're going to see. Well, we're going to follow the science. Like all my Democrat friends tell me. Follow the science, MJ.
Nutrients and everything within food to keep your body healthy.
All this fat on my ass has those nutrients. And it's called lipogenesis.
I heal so many
lipolysis
with food.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. So then we talked about your diet. Your diet, 1,200 calories. You're doing double the salt. And I said, that's okay. And you can't even eat an egg because the cholesterol's too much. And I said, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah, so basically the sodium and cholesterol, I say whatever on that.
You're doing good. How about your sugar intake? Real quick. How's that going?
That's always under.
Okay, good.
What's the number? My sugar intake is always under.
What's the sugar number in your app? Do you know? Off the top of your head?
Yeah, hang on. The sugar, 24 grams.
And what are you usually doing per day?
14 or less.
Wow, okay. You're doing great. That's amazing.
Well, let me see. So, like, Tuesday of last week, I had 19. That was my highest.
That's really good. Still under 20. That's good.
But I don't ever really eat sugar.
Yeah, what about flour?
See, the thing is, so my carbs is 120 grams, which to me is, like, high.
Yeah.
So I don't ever eat that many carbs.
What are your carb numbers coming in at?
About, well, it depends on the day. It looks like Wednesday I had 91, but Thursday I had 37. Saturday I had 38.
Wow.
Friday I had 42.
What were you eating on those days? Were you only having under 40 grams of carbs?
Like my low-carb wraps, I'll have like chicken, shrimp, stuff like that. Like
Shrimp's good.
I try to like my carbs. I'll try to do with like red potatoes because there's a lot of like good nutrients in red potatoes.
Yeah.
Or like bananas, or
My mouth is watering
you know,
as you say the names of foods.
a lot of my carb intake or sugar intake is kind of like fruit.
Yeah.
But I will have like a piece of toast or with like scrambled eggs in the morning and maybe like 2 pieces of bacon.
Mm.
So then my sodium's like gone.
Yeah. Your sodium thing is that's wrong. Like I said, your sodium.
It's totally wrong.
It's wrong. You can have double that.
I don't eat processed food. So, you know, in like a lot of processed food, there's a bunch of sodium.
Yep.
And I don't drink pop or anything. So I'm like, well, whatever. It's not bad sodium when I'm having, so.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad I got a little more insight into your diet. So we talked about diets. We talked about your diet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna reflect on these. So while you're doing your diets and things, be mindful that when Monday comes, B Money's gonna ask me how my diet's going, and then also I'm gonna talk about this fasting and what's going on with me. That's gonna be fun. And also, I can't wait to talk about the foods I'm gonna fucking eat on the weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's exciting.
We need to talk about what you actually intake.
Oh, it's going to be a lot. I mean, I already have it planned. I'm having a 1 pound prime rib on Friday. So Friday I'm having a glass of milk and usually I do like some type of protein, like a meat stick or something. And that works for me. I've tried a whole bunch of different things. I've tried the vegetarian type of thing, like some people have a little hummus or some fucking shit. For me, a meat stick is the best way for me to break my fast. And then I wait 30 minutes with a glass of milk, and then I say, Professor Bam, I'll be back in about a half hour. I have to go to my office. And I go and blow it up. Okay? Because then the gears start turning, and there's bile and all kinds of terrible shit that comes out of you after a week fast. And then I'm feeling.
I had watermelon for lunch yesterday. It was so good.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. How do you keep your watermelon cool? Just so you know, anytime, now you said one of the key words where I'm going to go into this thing. Anytime someone says watermelon, I say, how do you keep your watermelon cool? What do you do how do you store your watermelon?
The refrigerator.
There's only one way to do it, and that's not the right way. You have to have a crick, okay? Now, when I grew up in an old one-room schoolhouse, okay? Out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a creek next to my house, and across the road, so the creek went under this tube in the road, and then it started to become a bigger river, but right across the road there was this deep section of the creek that we dug out, and we would put the watermelon in the water right there in the creek, and it would keep it like almost ice cold, and that's how we would keep our watermelon. Yeah, that's the only way for me. I don't have a crick, so I don't buy watermelon.
You don't have a crick, you can't buy watermelon?
Yeah.
Well, I do, but not right now. Frozen.
Yeah, frozen crick. Yep, we didn't. Yep.
I mean, it's kind of like a ditch, but whatever.
A ditch, yeah, a ditch.
It's like I call it the creek.
Yeah,
it's
the creek.
Not natural.
People say creek. I say crick. Crick.
Yeah, it's not natural. It's like kind of like dug out, goes under both of the driveways, out to the road, but it starts like in the way back. Kind of drains like fields and the woods behind us. And
where you live,
runs.
The fucking ditches, so people are listening, it's of all the places I've lived in the world, there's only one place where if you accidentally go into the ditch, your whole fucking car is submerged down in the ditch. These ditches are like 10 feet down.
Because everybody's got fields.
Yeah. These are massive.
Like
this is not a normal ditch.
Their field tile into these ditches. So these ditches are dug like super deep.
They're super deep. You could be in a ditch in a car and no one would see you.
No, they wouldn't.
Yep. That's the thing. So like, yeah, you have a
It's like a head-on collision once you hit the bottom.
Yep.
I miss Professor Bam.
You do?
I feel like I haven't talked to her for a minute, you know?
Yeah. She'll probably I told her she could join us. So she'll probably come maybe by next Monday. She's doing a Friday pod. You could also get on that if you want. If you want to call in and be on that. But she has her own pod. We call it Freaky Fridays with Professor Bam. And
I love it.
if you feel like it, I mean, we might only do an hour, but she has a lot of crazy shit to talk about. She does the things that will definitely, like, if I call you Monday and I'm like, hey, we're trying to set up a new channel, it's because of Professor Bam. The things that she brings up, things that are like you're not supposed to talk about, you know, the wildest shit.
So like if her and I were on together, the 1 hour pod would end up being 8 hours.
It could be. And we could also be banned off of YouTube forever. So that's what we always have to keep in mind. Like whenever she's coming in hot, because like she'll just come in, like when I was doing, like Rose Clarity and I were having some pods, and Professor Bam would jump in, and it totally shifts everything. We'll be talking about like Michael Jackson, and then Professor Bam comes in with like 3 really crazy things that makes you wonder if the world's gonna end, you know? Wild shit. Did you know this? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Is that real? And then I have to look it up. I'm like, do you have a source? This is what I always find myself asking her. I'm like, because she says some wild shit, and I know she has a source, but it's so crazy, it's unbelievable. Are you sure? What's your source on this? You know? And then I go look it up, and sure enough, it's real.
Yep.
So Friday, Professor Bam's doing a pod.
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, Professor Bam. 8 o'clock.
Okay.
I think we might move it back because, well, let's see. We're gonna do steaks on Friday. Friday I'm eating. I think, well, let's keep it at 8 o'clock. I think we'll go get steaks at like 4.
I think you need to do it while you're shoving your face full of food.
Oh, yeah. That would be fantastic. We could do like a different kind of one.
I'm so fat and happy right now. Take it away, Professor Bam.
I'll have to figure out a way. There's a way. I do the pods right now through the PlayStation Network. And also that it's on YouTube, but it's also a 2-hour video on, it only lets me do 2. On the PlayStation Network, and that's where I'm getting a lot of, the views don't transfer, but I'm getting a ton of like messages and stuff on PlayStation. People are enjoying the podcast. Yeah. And then on YouTube, not as much yet, but I think it will translate.
Okay. Well, either way, it's cool.
Yeah, so feel free. I mean, Friday, 8 o'clock, Professor Bam, probably Rose Clarity on Friday will be on the pod. So we'll have a group, and we can talk about Professor Bam's wild shit. It's always, I have no idea what it's going to be. Something crazy. Some shocking thing. This past week. I knew
how to comment.
Yeah. How to comment?
I don't know how to submit comments online.
You would want to make sure you have like an alias Google account so that it doesn't go back to your stuff. And then then you can go to subscribe to the Banana Buck Bee Money podcast. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you can comment. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm not sure how to create a new Google account. I had the people working for me create.
Well, it's pretty easy. Let me walk you through it real quick. You go to Gmail. Okay? You click log out. And it says create an account. You click it. Then you make up a fake name like whatever, MJ Beautiful or something, you know? And then you make up an email. Yep. And that's that. That's it. Okay. Rose Clarity comments. Change name on Google. Oh, she says you could change your name on Google too. Rose Clarity says.
Okay.
You could. So, like, you could change, if you don't have your Gmail, like, set up to anything, you could change it just to say, like, my Gmail just says 2 initials. I'm not going to say what it is, but yours could say, MJ.
Okay.
Yep.
I could probably figure that out.
Yeah, you could. And then, yeah, so feel free. Friday, we're doing that. Friday, we're going for steak, though. Oh, man. I can't wait. That's
Do you have a restaurant picked out?
Yeah, we're going to a restaurant. It's like a Florida cracker bar, but they got the best prime rib. So I call the manager the day ahead of time. I'm gonna call her and be like, "Hey, keep one of them big fat prime ribs for me." So we're gonna go get some prime ribs. Professor Bam likes it. She wasn't sure, and I got her. She used to order.
Yeah.
She was like ordering it like well done and shit. I'm like, you can't order prime rib well done. Get it at least medium. So she's now down to medium, sometimes medium well. Okay.
Is it like wine, where you start with sweet and then you keep getting drier as you drink it?
Yeah, you just gotta not order
So
prime
like
rib
red
well
meat's
done.
the same way, like well done, then you kind of go medium.
Yeah,
well,
it just
then you kinda
isn't
get
good if you
medium,
overcook.
and then-
You don't want to overcook the prime rib. You really don't. Like, I don't want to eat a
Yeah.
whole bunch of blood. I order mine medium because it's not bloody. It's cooked, but then it's also like super good. And you said you don't eat red meat, which that's fucking nuts.
No.
But whatever. So
Well, man meat is a carnivore. I've had to learn how to cook red meat, but I still don't eat it.
yeah, well, once a week I got it planned. This month I'm on this 5-week journey. Every Friday is going to be steak, if at all possible. Every Friday is going to be hopefully prime rib. And then this coming Saturday, we got plans with my girl Posh, my friend Posh. And so we're going to go meet her up in Sarasota. And hopefully Professor Bam can come. She said it's going to be tentative whether she can attend, but a group of friends, and we're going to go. So I've been doing these pizza reviews. Now, you don't know this yet, but the whole last weekend I just watched pizza reviews. So it's this guy named Dave, and he does these pizza reviews. And I just can't turn it off. I get it on, and I do this one, and I do the next one, and I do the next one, and I do the next one. It's like addictive. I watch them till 4 a.m. Pizza reviews. So I went and got pizza last weekend in the middle of the reviews, and I just ate pizza the whole weekend and watched reviews. So I'm meeting Posh at this place in Sarasota, or in Nokomis, and it's called, she's in Sarasota, and it's called, I don't remember, but it's supposed to be a good pizza joint. So we're going to go, and I'm going to review it. I'm going to review the pizza place, yeah.
So on these pizza reviews that you watch,
Yeah. I'll send you I'll text you.
Does he like show the pizza that he's eating?
Yeah, so this is exactly what happens. It turns on, and he says, "We're at this place." He's like, whatever it is, it's on this app that this company made. The company's called, what the hell's the company called? Barstool Sports, and his name's Dave Portnoy. Davey Page Views is what he goes by on the pizza thing, and he's like, "Okay, everybody, one bite." One bite, Frankie, one bite. Everybody knows the rules, one bite. And then he just starts eating the whole piece of pizza. And it's not really one bite. But, and then he gives a score, and he scores really hard. So if you get like a 7.1, you're a pretty good slice of pizza. If you get an 8.3, that's a place you would drive 45 minutes to go get pizza. If you're a 9 point whatever and above, that's like some of the best pizza in the whole world. So I'm going to send you some texts with these. So basically, Saturday I'm doing pizza.
I'm trying to perfect my pizza dough right now, actually.
Really? What do you mean? Like, how are you going to perfect it? How do you make it?
Well, so I don't have the secret trick. There's a secret trick on how you get air, like more air into the dough. Mm-hmm. So it's light and airy.
Yeah.
So, like, when I
started
making it, it was kind of like dense. I mean, it was good, but it was heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, then I've kind of tried to perfect it over time, so maybe, like, a little less flour, let it sit for about 30 minutes, kind of, like, knead the dough a little bit for, like, a minute or two. then let it sit for a little bit longer, you know, like I'm kind of playing with it, but I haven't perfected it yet.
This is going to be exciting to hear as you work towards the perfection of this pizza crust. You know,
Man Meat
pizza
said
dough.
I made a homemade pizza. What is today? Monday. So last week, probably like Friday, I think I made it.
Yeah.
And I asked him, and he's like, well, you're getting there. It's pretty good. I don't know if it's perfect yet. And I was like, give me that goddamn slice of pizza right now.
He's pizza reviewing you. He was judging your pizza.
He's like, well, you asked me. He's like, it's good. I just don't know if it's quite perfect yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I know. I'm still working on it.
He wants you to keep working on it. That's all. Baby, your pizza's so good. It's almost
I feel like
perfect.
I need to reiterate the fact that I'm Sicilian and he's French.
Yeah.
So our house is loud.
Yep.
So I have to keep this in mind when, like, his workers are here. Because they don't always know we're joking.
Yeah. They're getting all, like, frightened,
like,
between the conversations. They're like, what the hell?
I call him out on stuff. He'll, like, make a comment back. And I'll call him out again. And then, like, oh, they're starting to look scared. I'm just kidding. We're just joking. This is
We're just joking. You have to tell them, this is all a joke. The whole thing. That's perfect. I love that. That's the thing. So not every relationship's the same. Okay.
No,
Like,
we keep it real and honest all the time.
I love that you can do that. For me, I cannot. I cannot. And that's okay. And it took me a long time to learn it. Because in my family and stuff, we joke. We joke a lot.
Yeah.
Here in this house, that is not good. And I was doing it for years. It would lead me into bad places. there can be no jokes.
Funny. So I have about 5 cousins that are about 8 years younger than me. Well, 5 to 8. Okay.
Mhm.
And I grew up babysitting them. I texted them the other day in a group text, and I said, I was like, I see y'all over there looking old as F, and then I sent them the link to my skincare line.
Yeah.
The comments that they came back with were absolutely hilarious. But, like, most people would probably take offense to it, but my family's not like that, you know?
Yeah, that's the best. I like to be
Call
able
each other
to
out all the time.
I like to be able to, like, if, like, say I'm having a really good slice, or you're having a really good meal or something, and I'm over here fasting, and you send me this fucking picture, this smorgasbord of food that you're eating, that you've made. It's like the greatest food. And I like to be able to send back to you, fuck you, in big letters. That I love you, but I'm joking, but also I'm not, but I am joking. And we can go back and forth, like, fuck you, know.
Yeah.
Why do you,
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect.
My whole family is just completely downright, like, rude and obscene.
Good. Perfect. Maybe that's why we're good friends. I think after 20 years, I just hit...
Nobody takes anything personally, you know?
It is March 1st. On March 3rd will have been 20 fucking years since I won on my senior year, since I won the state championship in wrestling. 20 years. That's a long time.
Oh.
We just hit the anniversary, and then on March, whatever the week after that, was our team state championship that we won. That's the end of that. 20 fucking years ago. That's a long time ago. And then in June or May or whatever it is, that'll be 20 years since I graduated high school.
You need to start using my anti-aging skincare line.
Oh, I'll use it all. I love your stuff. I rub it all over my body. What's the sex cream I use all the time? What's it called?
I don't have sex cream.
Well, I've been using it for that. What's it called? It's called, like, Deep Love Incantations or something. What's the one? I've been rubbing it on my arm. It was called something sexual.
Intense times.
Intense times. Yeah, like intense orgasms.
Light it on fire.
I think of intense orgasms, intense
Well,
times.
I think it would light you on fire.
What's the other one
It's
called?
not you.
What's the other one called?
Manhandled?
Huh?
Manhandled?
No, there's intense times and there's another one.
Sensual healing.
Sexual healing, that's the one.
It's sensual.
No, no, no,
healing.
no, 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 no. Every time I'm like, Professor Bam, get me some of that sexual healing from MJ. MJ
Oh,
gives me that
God.
sexual
You're going to get
healing.
in big trouble for this part of the podcast.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, this is a true story. Every time I'm always like, hey, give me some of that sexual healing cream, please, for my arm. And it helped a lot. That's the one I was using on my arm. I wasn't using the intense
I
orgasms.
thought about changing the name of that. And a couple ingredients to essential healing, since it uses all essential oils.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, see where I'm going with that?
Essential healing, yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
essential healing. Yeah.
Yep. Sexual healing is the one I'm using right now, and it is good. It works, and it takes a little while. It's different. Like, I got this one that's like blue
It
stuff.
lasts a long time.
Yeah, I use the blue stuff, and that works like immediately. But it doesn't, and it goes deep.
Mhm.
But this other one, yours, sexual healing, oh, it does something else, and it does good. It lasts good.
It
That's the
has
one
that icy hot feel for about twice as long as BioFreeze, but then after 20 minutes, that kind of will wear off. But then the arnica oil
Works
will
deep.
penetrate and
That's
get
the
rid of
perfect word,
inflammation.
penetrate. The sexual
no.
healing penetrates, and I always use that one right before I go to bed, if you know what I mean. Sexual healing on the arm, it penetrates after about 20 minutes, and it works really good. I enjoy it. It helps. Yep.
Just to clarify, it is not a sexual cream. It is a muscle joint cream.
Yep, that's true. And the massagers they sell are all for your back, too. Remember that.
Sell massage.
Yeah, but others, the massagers that stores sell, they're like, this is a massager for your shoulder and your back. Sure it is. Yep,
I mean,
it's
you
true.
could massage anything.
Yep, so I use the creams. I love them. I would give them a 5-star review. I'm doing it right now. Intense orgasms and sexual healing. Both creams were very good. The one does burn. I think that's the intense times, right?
The sensual healing and intense times are basically the same thing, except we added like some essential oils of lemongrass and orange to soften the scent for the women.
On the intense times?
Intense times is not softened. The sensual healing.
So I
is
should be using the
softened.
intense times, because the other one's the grasses.
Grapefruit and lemongrass and
I think I'm allergic to the lemongrass, but I don't care. I keep using it over and over and over again. It's so good.
really? You're allergic to lemongrass, you think?
I'm allergic to everything.
Oh.
All grasses
Well-
mostly. I didn't know that. You know, I was an athlete, and I'm doing really well in sports. And then we found out I couldn't breathe. So I'm doing well in sports with almost no oxygen. Can you imagine?
Oh.
Yeah. But I found out after the fact. You know, I didn't know until I was like in my 20s. The doctor was like, you're
Right.
allergic to all the grasses.
Oh, man.
I'm like, weird. That would have helped. Yep.
Well, I want to reformulate and just make one pain balm, not two.
That's a good idea. Yeah, one pain balm. And we'll call it
And
sexual
then the
healing.
manhandle, that's the one that heals like dry, cracked hands.
Yeah.
I want to take the patchouli out of it just so it's not as fragrant.
There you go. It's all happening. It's all, if you want to, that means it's going to happen.
Yeah, because man meat's like, well, it works really good, but I don't want to go into a meeting with someone smelling like patchouli.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yep, he doesn't want to smell like patchouli. A man's cream should smell like...
You gotta rename.
Let me tell you what a man's cream should smell like, okay? It should smell like you've put in a couple drips of gasoline and that you've stirred it up with a leather-bound strap. So it should smell like leather, a little motor oil, gasoline. For texture, should be some type of dirt off a man's hands because his hands are dirty from like chopping wood. Oh, little pieces of wood too from that like came in the air as he was doing a chainsaw.
Well, sandalwood is an essential oil.
Yeah. So that's the wood from the chainsaw. And some type of oil because he's changing the oil on the car. And then leather, some type of leather.
I only buy leather-scented candles.
Yes, so these are the things that a man should smell like.
Well, I'm trying to make things a little bit more asexual.
Oh, I want something to be just like Terminator. It should be called the Terminator. And it smells like leather, gasoline, and wood. I don't know.
Well, originally the idea was to make a men's line and a woman's line. But then things like we were using a lot of the same ingredients and then just kind of like using different essential oils to switch up the scent a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, this is kind of, we're making a whole bunch of products that we could just make.
Just make a single one. Yeah, just a single product. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. That's exciting. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Yeah. So I've kind of been dibble-dabbling in that a little bit.
Yeah.
Making some sales here and there. Not sure how much I want to.
I think right now you're going to do that. You're going to dabble. You're going to think. You're going to experiment. And then
I'm going to put my head underwater, get messages for other people.
Yes.
And just kind of sit here and spin my tires.
And then in the future, in the short future, in the next year or so, then you'll be recommitted fully because man, this is a time of transition in the life of MJ.
Yeah, and I ran my Ferrari 150 miles per hour for about 16 years, so
yep.
I guess I'm supposed to give it a rest. I don't know.
Yep, you are. You're supposed to give it a rest. And luckily, due to COVID, you can take a little rest, okay?
Ugh. Yeah, I don't rest well.
No. But at least you can focus your energy onto, like, your nephew, your family, your friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
I called my sister today, and I was like, so if I promise to have little G in bed by 8 p.m., can I have him on a school night?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can really only get him on Saturdays right now, and that's like the end of the work week. So if he wants to, lay around in his underwear and watch TV on Saturdays, kind of limits my little G time,
Yeah. Is she going to agree has she not responded?
Oh, no. As much as I want him, I can have him.
Oh, on school nights too, really?
Oh, yeah. Because he's my mini-me. He
you can bring him
her out and wears her out.
You just bring him to school, right? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. You should pick a night.
He'd hang out with me. He'd hang out with me. We'd play. He'd have chocolate malts with his uncle. Watch TV. I let him sleep in our bed.
Yeah. You should pick a day.
Wake him up.
What day are you going to pick? It should be the same day every week, though. Kind of like you were a parent that lost the custody battle at court. You get the kid one day each week.
I'm kind of like the DNA donor because he is totally my mini. I just did not birth him.
Keep sending me photos. I'll never post them in the comments here. So all you fuckerations, don't even think about that you're going to get a picture of this cute little boy. You're not going to. But MJ, please keep sending me the pictures. Yeah.
He's my favorite. Literally an hour after I brought him home, I texted my sister and I was like, I miss my little G.
That's good. What day did you have him? Saturday, you said? You've said it 20 times. Saturday.
Yep.
So I think...
yeah, but I didn't get him until like 3 o'clock. I went to his basketball game at 8:30 in the morning, and he wanted to come home with me.
Basketball? How old is he? How old is he now?
He just turned 8 in January.
That's cool. That's a great age.
Yep. So I broke his little baby heart because I said, well, you can't come home with me right now. I'm like, but I'll get a hold of you later. I'm like, I have to go home and make breakfast and see what, your uncle's got going on. He's leaving in a couple days. It might be a crazy day. I'm not really sure, but I'll call you later.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting him at like 3.
That's good.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I think you should pick a day. What's your day going to be with him? What day are you going to start taking him?
I'm gonna have to think about it.
It could be
I might
Thursday.
Assess,
How about Thursday?
I might assess like the week.
Oh, okay. It's not going to be the same day every time.
It's just hard because obviously, like, the business is ran out of the house, so we have like all the workers here every day, and the office work is here at home, and it just gets a little hectic sometimes.
So the best times would maybe be when the man meat is off just cranking wrenches and fixing things and off on a job for a couple days. Then little G can come.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be his last trip until the final inspection.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be
That's good news.
Out and about.
That's good news.
Yeah, so he'll be home more.
Yeah, so little G's going to have to learn how to run a business then because man meat's going to be at the table running the show.
Yep. He keeps trying to get him to stack wood, but he says no. He goes, I never promised to do that.
What? It's time to stack wood, boy. I never promised to do that.
Well, gee, how come that wood's not stacked out there? And he's like, I never promised that I'd do that.
Boy, get your ass out there and start stacking. My dad had an axe waiting for me. When I got off that school bus, I had to work for 2 hours to earn my keep. And I had to cut wood and stack it. And I don't know if it was 8. It was probably more like 11 that I was doing that. But at 8, I had to go feed the baby cows and take care of them on the farm.
Well, yeah, and he grew up on a farm, carrying 200-pound bags of feed since he was 7 years old.
Yep.
Working in the fields and stuff, so he has a hard time with, obviously, how kids are raised these days,
Yep. Yeah, that little G needs to get over there and spend a little more time around man meat.
He just wants to play
Let's just call him
MM.
MM, man meat. He needs to hang out with the man meat.
He told me, little G told me I'm the second greatest quarterback of all time, that Tom Brady was the first.
Little G is a smart man. Good job.
Who Tom Brady character is.
Tom fucking Brady is the man. Yeah, little G. Smart man, little G.
He loves football.
I got a notification on my phone today. And at first it was scary, and then it became very good, related to Tom Brady. So it said, are you sure did you charge this obscene amount onto your phone or onto your credit card? And it came as a text message, and I was like, oh shit. And then I logged in and I saw that it was a charge from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for my season tickets. So, and then I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. And then I was like, oh, Tom fucking Brady, front row, Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm doing it. Yep. So, yeah. So I was excited. That's my story.
I'm the quarterback. That's it. He's the receiver.
Yep. Cool, man. I'm glad little G knows about Tom Brady.
Yeah. I'm like, who's the greatest quarterback of all time? He goes, Tom Brady. I was like, heck no, it's me. I go, I don't even know who this Tom Brady character is. He's like, you're the second best. I said, All right, then.
That's funny.
I said, when you make it to the NFL, don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget. Aunt MJ was here having you run routes.
Yep. Except Hemi pops all of his footballs.
Hemmy, you didn't
I
pop
bought
the
him
ball.
I bought him 2 so far. He brought 1 over. Hemi popped it, so then I bought him 2 more.
Oh,
And then he
no.
popped another one yesterday. Or no, I'm sorry, Saturday.
Hemmy's
So he's
just
only got 1
chomping down
left,
on it, huh?
Well, Hemi's a rusher.
Yep.
He's a good fumble recovery.
There's got to be a way.
More.
I need a video of Hemi running and stuff. Running around.
It's funny because people think that bulldogs are like just lazy.
They're not.
He's a psycho.
Yeah.
I mean, he can be, but
Set up your
psycho.
phone
He,
like
goes after the football, and he's like and you can't get it from him.
put your phone in a tree or something and like press record so that I can see this whole catch game with the dog and everything. This would be great. I need a video.
Uncle Man Meat's like, I don't even know if I can throw a football anymore.
Uncle
like,
Man Meat. Uncle Man Meat is great. I love that even better. We need to call him Uncle Man Meat from now on.
Uncle Man.
Because then immediately I thought you were going to say Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. And it sounds just as good. Yeah, Uncle Man Meat.
Uncle Man Meat's watching us, and he's like, I don't even know if I can throw a football anymore. And he actually played football in college.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I didn't either until little G started coming over here.
Yeah. That's something with my arm.
Now I'm the second greatest quarterback of all time.
You are. You're an athlete. Did little G know that you were such an athlete?
No, but he saw all his grandpa's trophies.
Yeah. Grandpa's an athlete too. The whole family, a bunch of athletes.
He's got me and his grandpa's DNA in him, so he drives my sister crazy.
How's she doing? Can you please tell her I said hi? Just please tell her.
I will.
Tell her that Buck says hi. Sending love.
I will tell her that.
Sending love from the sunny state of Florida, where the weather is 89 degrees. The palm trees are blowing in the warm ocean breeze. And there he is, Buck, B-Money, floating around on an inner tube in the ocean, waving.
I'm going to send you pictures of popcorn, chocolate malts with Uncle Man Meat.
Please, I want more pictures. I want more stuff.
And then I'm going to send you pictures of little G. Okay, so I still have a box because my sister moved into my old house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I still have a box over there with like all my hair extensions and hair pieces and roller blades and just kind of random odds and ends.
Yep.
So little G found this box when I was video chatting with him the day before he came over. And he found all these, like, cool little things on my sister's phone where you can look like an old man and different stuff. So I'm going to send you 2 pictures. He has one of my hair pieces on in my rollerblades. One of them, he's got, like, an old man face through this app, I guess. I don't know. And then another one, he's got my blonde hair piece on in his rollerblades, and he's shaking his head around. He's like, I want to rock.
Oh, this is cool. Little G's really cool, man.
He's the man. I love Little G. He's great.
Yeah.
He cracks me up.
Little G, Uncle Man Meat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All the characters in this.
Sending a bunch of
Yeah, I can't wait. What I would like for you to do is consider me whenever you're texting other people things. Just put me into that group or whatever. I would love to. They're gonna be like, "Who's this number?" They're gonna ask. Say, "Don't worry about it. I just want to see. Yeah, Uncle Buck. Hold on, I'm getting the text, so let me look at these pictures.
Well, little G's funny because he's asked me like the last 2 times he was with me because he saw your name in my phone. So he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "I've told you several times. That's my friend from Florida. You met him once when you were younger."
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, look at this. This is fantastic. I got the one with the blonde one where he's dancing around. Oh, little G. Oh, I got the one on the couch.
So little G is in the 50th percentile. So he's small, like me and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's in 2nd grade now.
Man Meat has a Donald Trump hairstyle, huh? Sitting on the couch.
No. Not? That's Brad Pitt from Fury.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Okay, my bad.
Brad Pitt from Fury. He's just
Fury.
not
Okay, I
styled.
confused it with President Trump. It looked like a President Trump for a second, you know.
No, it's just not styled
Okay.
in those photos. No,
He
got
looks
Brad
good.
Pitt from Fury.
He does look young. He doesn't look like he's 50.
He's not 50. Not till July.
Well, okay. He looks like he's 40.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, he looks young.
So anyway,
Yep.
little G's in 2nd grade, and he's in the 50th percentile. So it's kind of small, like me and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Midgets.
So when the first grade team in flag football or basketball, which he's playing now, doesn't have enough players, they'll send him down because they can't send like Gigantor to go play with the first graders.
Mm-hmm.
But yet his skill level is at 3rd grade, and he's only in 2nd grade. So then when the 3rd graders are short a person, they'll like send him up.
Good.
So he's constantly playing like several games of flag football and basketball, and like the first graders he might play with, and then the 2nd graders will play after that, and then he plays again. And then if the 3rd graders are short, he'll play again. But
That's great.
because I asked my sister, I'm like, why is he playing with the first graders? And she's like, well, because they didn't have enough people and he's little.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's not very nice.
He probably dominated the first graders.
Well, he tries to be understanding. So he tries to pass it a lot. But yet the little kids don't know how to get open for a pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to yell a couple times. I'm like, shoot it. And he shot it and he made it. But yeah, he tried to pass it a lot when I went to his game Saturday because he didn't want to, show up all the little kids, be a ball hog.
Yeah, that was nice of him. Tell him to watch Kobe Bryant highlights. Kobe doesn't pass. Just shoot the ball every time you touch it.
I said, we need to work on him dribbling into the corner all the time. I said, he might be a two guard like Aunt Lissa.
Yep. Might be. I want to be updated on this. Little G, this is fun. This is fun. The Little G update should be part of our Monday podcast extravaganza. We should always have an update, especially if he's going to be coming over, each week. That would be nice to hear about that, because there might be people listening that have families. 1 or 2 people listening might have a family and might relate to that.
I'm sending you another text.
Okay, I heard the beep. I want you to tell Man Meat. Oh, there it is. The picture with Brad Pitt. I want you to tell him that I said it looked like Trump to me, though. Because before
Don't make me cut it off.
before I saw the
Brad, and I said no.
Okay, before I saw the Brad Pitt, and it's just like Brad Pitt. You're showing me the picture. He looks better than Brad Pitt, too. He's better looking.
I know.
Yeah, Brad Pitt looks like a girly man compared to him. He looks like a caveman. Brad Pitt looks like a little woman man compared to him. It looks like Brad Pitt is playing him in a movie. Like he's the real character in real life, and they hired Brad Pitt to play him, the man meat, in the movie. Yeah.
Well, and Brad Pitt was a badass in that movie.
Yeah. That's
and
great.
I like the dude with hair.
Why will he make?
Hair.
Why will he make you cut it if you say that? Buck B Money said immediately. He's like, it reminded me of President Trump. The hair.
He'd be like, well, then cut this shit off. Because President Trump doesn't... I love him. He does not have good hair.
Okay,
I mean,
do whatever you want. I
so
guess, you know what? I would even...
Like,
I would consider growing my hair out again to make it look like the man meat's hair, because it's that cool. That's how cool it is. I might just start shaving the sides and just let it grow out like the man meats. Yeah.
Well, but I have to, like, yell at him all the time because he'll put his hat on, and obviously he's not trying to impress anyone. He wears a hat a lot. But he doesn't, like, pull his hair back. So then he'll have, like, random pieces of hair hanging out the front. And I'm like, dude.
That would look randomly weird.
Put your hat on because then that looks weird.
It would look weird.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty long on top and, like, totally shaved on the side. Yeah, and I like the Trump hair, the swoosh back, and that's what it is. It's not like, because the top is swooshed back, sort of like, I don't know. No, because it's combed back. Trump isn't a combed back kind of guy.
It's a comb over and around.
Yeah.
It's kind of a comb over roundabout.
I can't believe you said President Trump doesn't have good hair.
He doesn't, but that's him, and that's cool.
Oh, I think it's like iconic.
I would never put it on my man meat.
Oh, I see. Okay. No, I understand. So I used to kind of wear my hair long, and I would spike it and stuff. And then I decided there was a certain point, like how you hit a certain point and you were like, I have these gifts. I hit a certain point where I pretty much just decided that long hair is for women and horses. And that the more hair I had, because then when I'm doing my hair and stuff, and even if it takes me 30 seconds, I felt like it was a vanity that was making me weaker to me.
Okay.
I felt like I'm doing a vanity, and I was like, this makes me feel weaker to have to do this. So this happened to me when I was like 21.
Really?
The first time that I felt like this.
It's kind of interesting that you had that negative of a feeling doing your
21,
hair.
I was spiking my hair and stuff, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, I do this every day. And it was, I had to shave my head at first because I was in that terrible car accident. Okay? So then I shaved my head. I had like hundreds of stitches. But then my hair grew out, and it was like kind of long, and I was spiking it and stuff. And then I had that feeling like, I had it shaved. I got in this bad accident, and I wasn't doing this for like the longest time. I just kept my head shaved. And now I'm doing this, and it feels like vanity, and it felt weak to me as a man. Like a woman, you should do your hair, and you're beautiful. For me, shaving the head, and that's where I learned it. That's where it came to me first. When in the car accident, the head was shaved, and now I feel empowered by not like standing in the mirror doing my hair and stuff. I don't even look in a mirror, which is probably bad. I mean, I should probably. I look in the mirror, sort of at a glance. I brush my teeth real good. I look at my teeth to make sure I'm getting them right and everything. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I've literally never looked in a mirror. So things changed, because when I was younger, I would look in the mirror. I would like do my hair.
You were more vain when you were younger.
I would do my hair. I would make sure my clothes looked good and stuff. Now, and maybe Professor Bam probably wants me to do more of that. Because I'll be like wearing the weirdest shit. I wear the weirdest shit clothes. The clothes I wear are ridiculous sometimes, on purpose.
Yeah, but I feel like you express your personality through your clothing.
I do. Wildly crazy clothes I wear. Like red, white, and blue.
But that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's you, you know?
Yeah.
As long as you're doing you, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm doing
You don't
me.
have to do your hair.
I'm doing me. Yeah, doing the hair just felt like a weakness and a waste of time, too.
Well, I sent you a picture of my 2 buns on top of my head with a do-rag today.
Oh, you look
I
great.
didn't do it.
Yeah, you look great with
I
the
didn't do
buns.
my hair today.
You look like
all good.
Tupac. It looks like a Tupac thing.
It's like
California
a Tupac met
love.
that 50s chick with the do-rag tied on top of her head.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. So this was good. This was a good.
Fun fact.
We were recapping the pod, and then we went a whole nother hour. How about that?
Nobody's listening anymore, but it's fine.
More people are listening now than before. Now there's people listening. Multiple people.
For real?
Yeah. There was no one listening at first. Now people are listening. So the first 2 hours, and then I was going to close it at 2 hours even. Yeah. Now I was going to shut it down, and I said, let's recap the pod. We talked about this, and this, and then we've gone on for a full hour. Just, MJ didn't want us hanging up. She was loving the pod.
I'm still not done.
We don't have, I mean, what time is it?
It's 11 o'clock.
We're done. No, that's it. We got to be done. It's getting too late. We got 5 minutes left that we can do. That's the maximum. Yeah.
Okay, fun fact.
What's the fun fact?
So, Man Meat was in a band back in the day. And he had long hair, okay? And he played the drums.
I need a
So
picture.
he still has his drum set in our basement
Yeah.
that he's gonna like put together for Little G.
Oh, that's
So-
fucking cool.
Yeah, so when Little G came over, like he didn't care about anything that I did in the space for us to hang out. All he
Mhm.
cared about was that drum set.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
So he's gonna eventually teach Little G how to drum.
Smart. I like that. Fantastic. I put my nutsack
Yep.
on your drum set. Yep. Step Brothers. I put my nutsack on your drum set. So it
That's
was
the best
good. I
movie ever.
think so. We did. This is our first pod, and really all it is,
Yeah.
like all it is going to be, and this is why we're doing it, because we haven't talked. We were talking, and then we need to. I just want this to be where we have our conversation that we always have, and we do it once a week. And if we decide we hate doing it as a podcast, I still want to make sure we call and do our conversation. And even if sometimes if we're super busy and we can't do it at 8, we'll do it at 9. You know what I mean? Or if we can't do
Yeah.
it till 10, we'll just do a half hour even. But we need to have a talk. We need
Yeah.
to talk. It would be hard to believe that it would only be a half hour. I think that
Yeah, because I obviously can talk to you for hours.
Once a
about
week.
Random shit.
yeah, plus it's just once a week. It's like a counseling
And it's funny
appointment.
how it's like no one's even listening anymore, and you're like, actually, more people are listening.
Yeah, more people were listening for sure. And also, I don't know how many are listening on the PlayStation Network. So sometimes, like, we'll have 5 or 6, or I think we have 8 people listening, like on YouTube at the same time, which is nothing. But I mean, there's people. That's something. There's people listening. But on the PlayStation
Yeah,
thing,
whatever.
there's like a lot of followers. These people are getting goofy on the PlayStation. I got like 50 messages.
Are you playing your game?
No, I'm not doing it. It's sitting on. It's like on a screen, so we talk. But
So
they.
they're not even like watching you play your
No,
game.
no one's watching a
dominating,
game. No,
listening
they're
to
just
us
they get
ramble.
on and listen, because it's on a screen and it says like Buck Bonona. It says welcome to the BS or the B Money podcast. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So yeah,
Well,
nobody's.
You know I'm technologically illiterate, so I don't understand that, but cool.
Yeah. Do you have the YouTube app on your phone?
No, but I could probably get one.
Yeah, you just download the YouTube app. That's pretty wild that you don't have YouTube on your phone.
Well, Little G grabbed my phone Saturday, looking for game apps. Hey, Melissa, why don't you have any games? I was like, Melissa, don't have time to play games.
Yeah, I got no time for that
He
shit.
just kind of looked at me funny, and I was like, nah, we don't do that here.
No games. Yep. I totally don't like games on a phone. You should not download games. I've been telling Rose Clarity that over and over again. There she is. Rosie the Riveter. It's sort of a pompadour. She's talking about Trump's hair. She says Trump wouldn't be Trump without the Trump hair. She's making
Agreed.
fun of me because I couldn't remember the word sawdust when I was saying, you know, those pieces of wood that come off when you cut with a chainsaw, whatever that's called. Sometimes the brain doesn't work. What are you going to do? Yep.
That's funny. Well, my sister, that's how she keeps him occupied sometimes because he's so high energy. He drives her crazy.
Puts him on a game for sure. You got to do that. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So when he's at my house, we don't play games. We play football, and he rides his scooter that I bought him. He's got a trick scooter I bought him for his birthday in January. So he rides it all over the house, and I time him on certain routes, and he's got to beat his time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we get the energy out. We have fun.
Yeah, that's actually really good for him. My mom used to do that with me, like not like that, but we would go play basketball, and she would encourage me. Like, that's like encouragement. Kids need that. Kids need encouragement.
And then he gets attacked by the wild bear and the wild boar, and he's got to get his passes off, and he's got to make his catches because he can't recover the fumble if Hemi's on it.
Nobody tells him what he can't be. That's the key.
Like, if you don't want your football popped, you better catch it.
Catch the damn football. Yep. And you guys, there's no one that's going to tell him you can't be something or you can't do something. That's so important.
Exactly.
That was my thing. Like, nobody told me I can't, and I did. And when you did tell, when you got to the point where people started to tell me, you go. Sorry, go talk.
No, I was just saying my dad spent a lot of time with me, practicing sports and teaching me stuff, and meant a lot to me. So I plan on doing that with him. He gets the energy out, because I know what it's like to be high energy. I can't just sit around all day. I'll just cause chaos. And that's what he does. And then you get in trouble.
Yep. That's fantastic. I want a weekly update on our pod, even if it's just like 2 minutes of this is what we did. I want to hear it, and then because then I'll be part of it. Little G.
Yeah.
And then when I come to town, I'll make sure it's when Little G's around. Rose Clarity, you can be anything you want. Man, woman, black, white. That's true, Rose. You can be anything you want. I can identify as a woman. Yep. I am a black woman. It's true. Yep. So it's been a good pod. I think we sort of were recapping. It's been really good. We talked about all kinds of shit, things and stuff. Anything else on your mind that you're dying to talk to me about before we turn the podcast off? You know what we could do is continue the talk, but I'm going to stop the podcast, but we could keep talking.
Okay.
Then we could really get into some wild shit. You know what I mean? Get off the...
So Little G. Back to Little G.
Yeah, but Little G, fine. We're going to call this the Little G podcast.
I was video chatting with him the day before he came to my house, right? Stayed the night for the first time. And he's like, he got sent to the office last week. I said, what for? He's like, I don't know, I get sent all the time. And I was like, okay, but for real, what for? He's like, well, this girl in my class told everyone that she dances in her grandma's living room. And I said, well, that's embarrassing. And I got sent to the office for that. And I don't really know why, because I only said what everybody was thinking. And he said, Well, maybe she didn't think that was embarrassing, and you probably shouldn't say everything that comes out of your mouth, or like in your head, out your mouth. You have to think about it before you say it, like it might hurt someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, I try, but God makes me.
God makes him say it.
He said, I try not to, but God makes me. I said, I understand. I got in trouble several times. I didn't understand why, because I was just being honest. And then come to find out, I told my sister about it at his basketball game, thinking that she knows, because I thought it was kind of funny. His response was, well, I try not to, but God makes me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell her about it, and she's like, oh, I didn't know about that one. I was like, oh, no. And then she said, well, do you know why Dad got held back in first grade? I said, no, why? And she's like, because he refused to read out loud. I was like, oh, no.
Perfect. Being held back is not a bad thing. Hold them back. I'm a big proponent of that. Hold them back a grade.
My dad is, one of 16 children, right? So him and one of his sisters are like maybe a year apart. And they ended up being in the same grade because my dad refused to read out loud. And he also had to sit under the teacher's desk because he couldn't behave.
That's funny. That's fantastic.
But yeah, I got sent to the office several times for being honest and not knowing I did anything wrong.
You have brought something up now that I have been meaning to ask you, since last week, but I totally forgot until just now. So I'm going to ask you the last thing of the podcast. Could be traumatic, might not be something you want to talk about. Okay, but I don't know. So a mutual friend mentioned in passing that something happened to a person, or they were mentioning a situation from back when you and they were back in school. Okay, I'm trying not to say names or anything. There was a kill list made. It was either middle school or high school. A kill list. Do you remember this?
No.
Yeah. There was a person that made a list back when Columbine happened. And there was a list made at the school that you went to. And your name was on this list.
Okay.
But you don't know anything about this. It's not.
No, maybe I didn't know anybody wanted to kill me.
There was a kill list made at the school you went to, and it had a lot of names on it, but your name was on the list.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was told. And that you would know more about it. You would know more about it, is what I was told.
Weird. No, I don't know anything about that till now.
This is so crazy.
I wouldn't doubt it, I guess.
I thought for sure I was going to bring this up and you were going to be like, oh my gosh.
It was so traumatizing. No, I didn't know anything about it.
You didn't know you were on a kill list. And the kid got sent away. He had to go to a different school. It was a guy.
You need to text me this name of this person.
Yeah, I'll try to find out.
Who wanted to kill me?
He had a list, a long list, like the Columbine people. I don't know anything about it, but I need to know more. That's why I was asking you. So you don't have any recollection of this at all?
No.
And you've never known about it?
No, I was always nice to everybody. I mean, some people didn't like me because I was honest, but I was never mean or rude. The only thing I remember, which was kind of traumatizing to me, but you knew me very well. But
I knew you well.
So I still to this day don't know who it was.
We met at a church thing. This is how we met. This is how bad of a kid you were.
No, we were in a youth group together. That's how I met you. Church youth group. Yeah, some guy at my school wrote on the bathroom wall my name as a cock tease.
Oh, this is totally different. Okay.
No, but I was like a freshman or sophomore. I had to have been a freshman, and I'm like, what the heck? And I was like totally traumatized by it because I was like,
how did you find out? The other guys said, MJ, your name is on the wall in the boys' bathroom. It says that you're a cock tease.
Yeah.
And how did you go immediately tell the principal or something? Like, what'd you do then?
Well, no, I wasn't a pussy. I was just like, totally traumatized by it. And I was kind of like, I didn't know people saw me as that. Like, I don't mess around with anybody. Like, I don't do anything weird or shady.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why, but it kind of gave me like a bad rep from the time I was in high school.
Okay, well, that's fun. That's funnier than the other thing. The other thing was scary. I thought I was scared. I had no idea about that. So I'll try to find out more info and I'll circle back to you the next time we talk.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about anybody wanting to kill me. That's kind of weird.
It wasn't just you, it was a list of people. The person just mentioned one of the people on the list was someone we both know. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, no, that was the only traumatizing thing that I can remember about anybody doing anything in high school like that. And I was like so young that I was kind of like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I didn't do anything. That's weird.
Yep, you were a good kid. You wouldn't know about anything like that.
I didn't know what I did to be on that wall, but okay.
Someone was mad. It sounds like an incel situation. Someone that couldn't have you was mad about it. They said, I want that MJ so bad, but I can't have her.
But I was a baby. I was like a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
What did I know?
It was when you were a freshman too, huh? For sure?
Yeah, I think it was, pretty sure.
Do you think, was it an older kid that wrote it or someone in your own grade?
No, I think it was someone that was a junior or senior.
Those bastards. How dare they do such a thing to you?
Yeah, I just kind of always prided myself on who I was. Like, I was always honest. That's why I got in trouble all the time, I guess.
Yep, you did.
I wasn't doing anything shady or weird.
No. That's a good story, though. So I'm glad I brought up something. You have no recollection of it, thank goodness. And then you brought up another crazy story. I'm glad I got that out of you, though. That just made the podcast.
I forgot all about that, actually.
Yeah, it brought it up in your mind.
Yeah.
Kids at my school probably, I know for sure that when the drug dogs were coming, I got pulled out of class, and everyone thought for sure that I had drugs. And then yeah, they did. So but luckily it was just like cough syrup that was behind the seat of my truck, and the dogs keyed off on it. But either way, and then the kids and this girl, her name is Jessica, was my friend, but she thought for sure. She never asked me. No one would ask me about it. They just thought that I was like a bad kid in some way. And I wasn't.
Is this the Jessica I can't stand?
No, not the one you can't stand. A different one. And she sat by me in school, and I would always get pulled out of the homeroom. So the drug dogs keyed on me, and everyone knew the drug dogs were there. So if anyone got pulled out of class at that moment, it was because you had drugs and you were fucked. So I was the only one. I got pulled out of class. They called me over the loudspeaker of the whole school that I had to come down to the office. So I walk out of this class and everyone's like, oh my gosh, the look on their face. And even the teacher was like so surprised. And then as I would walk down the hall, I'm walking to this principal's office. I'm on the second floor of the school. And, every class I would walk by, they all heard my name and they were all looking at me as I was going by. And then I had to go out with the police to the car, and I had to unlock the car, and then they searched it, and they found the cough medicine. It was like the red stuff that you spray into the back of your throat when you're having like your throat's really sore. I don't even know what it's called. So I had that in my car.
Is it Chloraseptic or something like that?
Yes, they keyed off on that. So nothing happened, whatever. But then the principal really liked me though because of wrestling. So then he would pull me out of homeroom all the time. So they would call over the thing, my name, come to the office. Okay? So then everybody already knew I'm the only kid that left during the drug dog search. And then I'm always getting called to the office. And later, like, I'm in my 20s, and this girl who was still my friend was like, man, I thought you were such a bad kid. It kind of turned me on, she said.
Oh, no.
I was like, trust me. I was like, trust me. I'm not a bad kid, and everything you think is not what it is, and no one would ask me. No one asked me anything. And then the guy just he brought me to the fucking office during homeroom often, too often, because he wanted to talk wrestling with me. He's a huge wrestling fan, the principal. He wanted to talk about things, and so that was a misconception. Like, you were like, oh, people thought this about me. People thought I was a bad girl, like I was, the cock tease or whatever. I don't know. So people thought I was like a bad kid. They thought I was a bad guy in some way. I wasn't.
Well, like one of my cousins I used to babysit from the time she was little. She ended up being crowned homecoming queen. And from the time she was little and I babysat her, I was like, nobody likes a skank. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I just kept, reiterating this to her. Like, don't do this. Don't do that. Nobody likes that. It's not going to get you anywhere, the whole thing. And she became homecoming queen. And I told her, I said, see? And you got that without being a skank.
Yep. And she remembered and she laughed.
Yeah, and she's a lesbian now, so she blames me for that.
Oh, how dare you? Yeah, how dare you?
She's joking.
She's not joking.
She's like, yeah, but you're the whole reason. You steered me away from boys the whole time in high school.
It's true, you did. How dare you do that? Now you turn the homecoming queen out of the arms of some boy in her school that could have wrote that she's a cock tease on the wall into the arms of some girl who appreciates her.
It's just funny.
Cool, man. Good story.
So she's like, yeah, you're the whole reason I am. I'm like, don't you put that on me.
Yeah.
I just told you not to be a skank.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we support. Some of my greatest. I love lesbians. This is a pro-lesbian podcast, so if she ever wants to come on, she can. She has my 100% support. She can come here.
Oh my goodness, she's hilarious.
She can come on. She's one
of the best people I know, honestly.
Great.
Everyone loves her. She's my entire family's favorite, which is hard to be when there's 200 plus people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in your family. Yeah, so she's the favorite. Okay.
Yeah, 200 plus people. She's everyone's favorite.
Tell her to come up with some alias nickname, and then she can come on with you sometime on a Monday.
She's having a sleepover on Friday with little G and a whole bunch of her nephews and some of our other cousins. I think there's going to be 7, 8-year-olds.
Wow, that'll be fun.
Yeah, she's just fantastic.
Wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to watch a movie and sing?
No,
Are they going to have a sing-along?
No, she's like me. You're going to come up with bad ideas and then just watch them run wild with it, buy them all silly string.
That's
have
funny.
put these crazy ideas in their head and just watch them go crazy, buy them all Nerf guns, whatever you got to do. It's great time.
Fantastic.
Yep, so I'm going to crash that party Friday.
I want an update on that party come next Monday when we do the next pod. We're so far over the limit. I'm shutting the pod off, okay? It's been a great Be Money podcast. Okay. MJ, this has been our first pod. It's been awesome. We're going to keep talking, though. And then we'll go see if Professor Bam wants to chat or something. But we're shutting it down until
Okay.
we'll see you probably with next time again with MJ next Monday. So have a great
Sounds
day.
good.
Thanks for listening to the pod.
All
And
right.
I'm shutting it down. You don't go anywhere, MJ. Stay right there.